All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. And welcome to another episode of Love and Dating with Victoria. And this is the fourth episode. So, as usual, in order to get the best experience from this session, so I'd like us to, check our microphone and video. And I guess I can see it's working. And please mute your microphone when you're not talking. And when you need to talk, you can unmute. So when it's time for you to contribute, and I would advise that we block all distractions so that our short time here will be a productive one. And please, we want your full attention and participation, which is very important. We will appreciate if you can keep your video on throughout the session. Please feel free to stop the video if you need to excuse yourself. We want to see your beautiful faces. Like the Yoruba will say, they will say Ojulorowa, So I'd love to see your beautiful faces. So let's try as much as possible to keep our video on. We can help out in and out, or probably if you need to make a comment or a contribution, you can put your video on. Thank you, Brother Daniel. And if you need to leave early, please let us know by sending a quick message in the comment box, in the chat box. And this is an interactive section, so please feel free to share your thoughts. And you can ask any question. And the easiest way for me to know if you have something to say is for you to use the raised hand emoji or use the chat box. Okay, so about me, my name is Victoria. I'm a homemaker and a mom of two wonderful kids. I'm very passionate about relationship and marriage. And I'll be your host for today's discussion. The middleman, right? I'm here to bring the message from the ladies and the men. We're here to discuss it. So I consider myself as a middleman today. Okay. This is about this group. Again, this is a group of men and women who are single. This group was born out of a passion to help young men and women discover their real self and find a perfect match for a lifetime of fulfillment in marriage. The purpose of this group is to make you make an informed decision about choosing the right partner. And the aim is to promote godly relationship, which in turn promotes godly home. And my aim is to help you discover what matters, what truly matters, and God's will for your future. Thank you for trusting me to help you on this journey. I really appreciate that. And I admire that you've chosen to be a part of this community. Okay, so today we have a very important announcement. So I would like you to stay to the end for this exciting news. All right. I promise that we won't take too much of your time. It won't be more than 2 hours or even less than, if we can make it, if we can, have our discussion as quick as possible. So that leads us we're getting closer to where we start, and we're going to start with a prayer. So who's going to lead us in prayer? I need a volunteer to lead us in prayer. Tinubu, please, can you pray for us? Are you there, Tinubu? Probably I shouldn't call names. Who is there? Who wants to pray for us? Belumi. Let's see, who else is there?
All right. Good evening. Let us pray.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Um, we thank you, Almighty Father, for this day. We thank you because you woke us up, you granted us salvation, and we are here to admonish one another as you would have want us to do, to find the balance between both sexes and to discuss our issues. But most importantly, that we actually do all these things according to your will. because we know that you were the one who established this, and you want us to walk in the light of truth. So we beg you, you please grant us your wisdom today, so that all what will be said today will not be in vain. And that by the time we are done here, we will leave here with an understanding of how you have structured this marriage of the topic to be. We thank you because you have heard our prayers. Help us to understand our rules and help us to act accordingly. We pray in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you for that wonderful prayer. Thank you so much. And let's get started. Okay. So last month, that was in June 26th, I guess, we started this love and dating episode. And in the first episode, we talked about before you say yes to that relationship. So we're going to have the summary by Mojola Oluwa. She's going to give us the summary of what we talked about that day. And the second episode, which was probably 3 weeks ago, we talked about qualities to look for in a woman. And Pelumi, that was the men only group. So Pelumi would, share with us what the summary from that group, what discussion we had that day. And last week we talked about looking qualities to look for in a man. That's the ladies only group, and I'll be the one giving the summary. And today's episode, the fourth episode, is the qualities men and women should look for. We've discussed those qualities. So what actually should we be looking for? So that's what we're going to discuss today. So Mujola, please, can you go ahead and share with us the first episode?
Yeah. All right.
Yes, the relationship.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening, everyone.
Good
So
evening.
here's the summary of the first episode. So, firstly, said have a very good relationship with God and serve Him wholeheartedly. Then meditate daily, and we read the book of Joshua chapter 1 verse 8 to back that up. Thirdly, diligently seek Him. Hebrew chapter 1 verse 6 and Matthew 6:33 were read. You need to have a deep personal encounter with God. When you do, the Holy Spirit will work within you and give you a spirit of discernment. Know God's will and do it. Be sure to know God's purpose for your life. That is, what God requires of you to do for Him. Knowing God's will and purpose helps you shape your life as a whole. Have a very strong life values. Your life values, that is, knowing who you are and why you do what you do, takes a huge role in finding who to love and what you want from life. Be serious and ready to be committed to a relationship. Be real. Be true to yourself. Dating is not for the weak and vulnerable mind. Be intentional about dating. And lastly, be a friend. Friendship helps you to find out if he or she has the qualities you are looking for. And that's all for the summary.
Thank you for Jagaloa. That's a wonderful summary. Thank you. So we're going to, Pelumi, are you ready for this summary from the men only group that we had?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
I hear you.
this summary, yeah. All right, so we in the men's group we were able to look at the things we wanted in a woman. So we talked about intelligence, ability to think smart, our aspirations, what she wants in life for her life, and most importantly, our spirituality, as the God factor must be there. So we also want somebody who can teach and also is also teachable. Someone who loves God deeply and passionately, not because of keeping up with appearance. We want someone who can resonate at our frequency and someone who can challenge the status quo, and who can do things in a countercultural manner. We talked about the ability to draw even the man closer to God. So, in as much as you yourself you have a spiritual relationship with God, you must also be able to like move your man to draw closer to God, not away. We talked about what puts us off in a lady, which is an inability to engage in a good conversation and not being open-minded. We talked about ladies who don't want to challenge the status quo and okay, not being teachable. And most I think the word for all these things is being a conformist. You know, when you agree with everything that goes on in society, that puts us off. So what we appreciate most in a lady is being confident. We love a confident lady, someone who can have a mind of her own and have an open mind towards the conversation. So, and also part of what we don't like that puts us off is when a lady or a sister jumps into conclusion and how most of them determine our future in the present. So, I think that's about that. Yes, we want confidence and content. We want confidence and content. I mean, yes, appearance is good, but sometimes you go to some ladies and they're all looking nice and all, but eventually they don't have anything to offer. So we want content and we want confidence. We don't want what used to be given to our fathers then. These days times are changing. So we want something different. So that's basically what we do.
Thank you. All right. So I'm not your voice kind of probably the environment. So I don't know. Did everybody can you hear what he said? I know there was a background noise going on, but I was able to pick one of the
Do you want
ladies.
me to go again? Do you want me
No,
to go again?
that's okay. That's okay. Thank you.
All right. All right.
Yeah. So I'm just asking the whole, group if probably I should, kind of bring out some points. So from the main session, we had, quite some questions, and the first one is what qualities matters to you most, and a lot, kind of like an agreement. Almost all the men said the same thing, and they talked about her spirituality, that she must, believe in spiritual being, like have this deep connection with God, and that she must be teachable and she must love God deeply and passionately and not just keeping up with appearance. She must be someone that can resonate with frequency, someone that would be able to, challenge the status quo and just not do things in a countercultural manner, and non-conformist, someone that can draw, the guy closer to God. And what else? I think that's just, things, qualities that the men appreciate most in a lady. So, and they say she must be intelligent. She must be able to think smart, and she must have aspirations. She must have purpose and goals, and dreams for her, what she would like to accomplish. Like, okay, so that's for the first question. Now, the second question is what puts you off in a lady. So they talk about inability to engage in conversation, and having to not being teachable. Like if a lady is not teachable, if she thinks she knows it all, that puts men off. Then the herd mentality and cleanliness. If a lady is not clean, it puts the men off. When a lady jumps into conclusion, someone used the word flying, that the lady is flying, that they are quick to jump into conclusions. So that's one of those things that puts the men off. And let's see. And what else? So a lady can challenge the status quo. And like a lady that just, follows the bad wagon and does everything that comes away is something that puts the men off. And that's just about it for what puts the men off. Then about a lady. Then the third question was about what do you appreciate most in a lady? So it's ability, the lady should be able to draw them into the conversation, and you must be able to know, you have to know, get to know a little about the lady before, okay. So like at least they must have, you must be able to know the lady before you can even, have some meaningful conversation, right? So another thing is confidence. So men appreciate lady with confidence, having a mind of our own, and having an open mind to a conversation. So, and must be very intelligent. So men appreciate ladies that are very intelligent. And the last question, which is with the one we joined together, like the question is, what would you consider marrying a Christian? Why and why not? So that one, the answer is quite, that one took a lot of discussion and deliberation, and we discussed it at length. So 90% of the sisters, what the men said is, they said that 90% of the sisters cannot keep up with conversation. So, and someone said he doesn't think he would marry from the church. Well, he also said, the person that said that also said that, he just felt that he doesn't, vibe with the ladies, right? Like he doesn't feel connected. So another person said the problem is not that the ladies are not smart, right? That some ladies are smart, but the issue is that they don't connect still, and that the sisters fly, right? Like they are quick to jump into conclusion. And like I asked the question, what does flying mean? And the person says, like, it means jumping from point A to point Z, without going through the rest of the letters, right? Without having to, think it through. You just, look at the whole situation and just jump into conclusion. So then they said the sisters are always quick to judge your future by your present. Like, so when they see you, like when the sisters see them, like the guys, they're quick to judge, like probably, look at who he is now. And then they just conclude that that's what his future would be, which is not, which they think is not right. And then they assume that that's who you're going to be for the rest of your life. And they also said the resources sisters are investing. Okay. Oh, okay. That what the sisters are doing, like all those things that the sisters are doing currently to impress the guys, are no longer impressing them. Probably, probably the makeup, the hair, and all that. Those are important, but it should not be the most important thing to attract a man. So the brother said it's no longer working. That's not what they're looking for. The brother said they're looking for content, right? And they want the sisters to step up their spiritual game. They want them to stop judging, and they want the ladies to see the men as a work in progress. So that was pretty much what we discussed that day. So I will move on to talk about what we discussed last week, which was qualities to look for in a man, and that was the ladies only group. So I hope you guys are following. I hope you're getting it.
We're following.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we're following.
All right. I just need to make sure that I'm not too fast, I'm not too slow, and we are all together. Okay, so for the ladies, the first question was, I tried to compile everything here. What matters to you most in a man? And 95% of ladies said he must be caring. About half of the ladies said he must have money. And that if he doesn't have money, he must have a realistic goal. And he must be a visionary, and he must be very serious about life. So they also said he must have the understanding of the word of God. And about 90% of the ladies said they want that friendship part of the relationship. That friendship is very, very important. They want someone they can connect with, someone they can relate to, and which I also think is very important. And about almost all the ladies also said that it must be of a good character, it must be well behaved, it must be God fearing, and it must be concerned about their personal growth, and must be willing to support them in their in whatever career they have chosen. And also, the man must be intelligent, must be smart, must have understanding, and he must have listening ears, must be able to, have, listening ears, and must be very patient, lots and lots of patience, must not be a lazy guy, he must not be lazy. So he must be faithful. Someone said no cheating is allowed, right? And he must be a Christian. And that all this is coming under what matters to you most in a man. So this all these qualities are what matters to the ladies when they're looking for a man. And someone also said he must be able to dress and speak eloquently, and he must be able to know what fits his body type and not follow the trend. It's not just following the trend. You have to have a mind of your own, know what fits your body. That was what someone said. And another sister said the man must be calm, cool, and collected. And that takes us to the next question: what puts you off in a man? And the lady that said the person must be calm, cool, and collected also said that she hates men that talk too much. That because when you talk too much, you wouldn't know when you say things that you're not meant to say. So she said she doesn't like men who talk too much. One of the ladies said the men she dislikes men who are too full of themselves. And also someone else said that she doesn't like men with mouth odor, but she thinks that it can be corrected. It's something that can be corrected, that can be worked on. Almost all the ladies said they hate men who are proud, and they dislike men who are so, they're full of pride. They don't want anyone who is proud, and they don't want liars. They said they don't want liars. They dislike men who lie, and those are the things that put them off in a man. And they said they don't want nonchalant. They dislike men who are nonchalant and who are not interested in the things of God. Okay, and also they said they hate men who talk too much, like I said, and who feels is always right. Okay. And let me see. Another person said they dislike African men with their ego. She said they dislike African men with their ego. Okay, so that takes us to the next question. The third one says, what do you appreciate most about men? So it's more like we said earlier, similar to the first question, but a little bit different. So the ladies appreciate men who are caring, like we said, God-fearing, who consciously and intentionally show that they care, right? And another person said she appreciates men who is going to invest in her, and someone who cares about her personal growth, and men who are intelligent and smart. Now, the last question which we merged together is, would you consider marrying a Christian brother? Why and why not? So let's see. Almost more than half of the ladies, I would say 95 or 90% of the ladies said they would consider marrying a Christian brother. And almost 90% also say they think it's very important, that is a good thing. And let's see. Okay, and someone also said it's advisable because of the family background, and that you don't have to do too much to blend the family, if the person is not a Christian. And then she thinks that if men are pressured to accept, to, convert, they might easily, along the line, they can backslide or things can change along the line. That's what someone thinks. And let me see what. Okay, so someone among the ladies also mentioned that she thinks that this marrying in the Lord is overrated because background checks are not taken very seriously. So what she meant by that is that they're always concerned about the lady. Is she good? Does she know how to cook and how? And they don't really check the guy and check his background. And they just assume that, okay, he's a brother, he's good, right? Or probably because of what they've seen him do in the church, they just assume that he's good without having to do a proper background check. So that was what one of the sisters said. And she thinks marrying someone outside of the church makes you stronger enough to be able to convert the person who is the non-believer. So she thinks if you have to marry someone that is not a member, that means you have extra work on your shoulder that you need to do to be able to, convert that person and make that man a believer. So, all right, let me see. Okay, so someone else believed that marrying in the Lord is a scam, right? Because the brothers have two personality. They have a personality they portray in the church, and they have a different personality that you can't see, that it's different from the church. And it's only when you move closer to them, when you're their friend, that's when you can know, that's when you can know more about them, and then you see the two personalities that they have. And well, let's see. And then the same person also said that these brothers or their family, they pray on the fact that because they know that the parents support marrying in the Lord, that they pray on that fact and they're like, oh, where are you going to go to? Is you're still coming back to us? That so she thinks is not the right way to go. And she also talked about emotional abuse, and the emotional abuse is, with the words of the mouth, how you treat the lady. And she also complained that some men in the church, because now we're talking about the fifth question, would you consider marrying in the church? Why and why not? So she complained about some men having anger issues, and that you will actually know these men from the meetings that they have in the church, that they have anger issues, they can't control their anger. And someone also said brothers need to be real and practice what they teach. And another person talks about, let's see. Let me see. Okay, I think I'm almost getting to the end of what we discussed. Someone thinks that if you're truly a Christian, then you need to know your right from wrong. So that if you're truly a Christian, then it's pretty much easy. Like if you really have that God fearing, that everything we've been saying is pretty simple. So that was what someone said. So I think I'll stop right there. That's pretty much the summary of what we said that day. And then there was a question and an answer session that we had. That after all the questions that we asked, there was a separate question that came up, like 2 or 3 different questions. So, but before I go into that, I would, love to hear from you guys. I've been, I would love to take a break and hear from you guys. So that will take us to, what the qualities, the real qualities, the actual qualities men and women should be looking for. We've heard all this that we've said. So what can you say? What contributions do you have? What suggestion? What do you have to say about all this? I'm listening. who wants to go ahead and talk? And if you want me to say something, probably you didn't get one of the points I mentioned, I can, come back and, tell you about that. So yeah, the men, can you, tell us what do you think? What do you think about what the women said? Right? Let's start with the men. Mm-hmm. So is everything that I read, is it true, or is there a misunderstanding? Is there a misunderstanding somewhere that the ladies don't understand that you want them to understand now? Because we're all about solution, right? Okay, so who wants to go up? Damilare, you want to say something? No.
Not yet. For now, I'd love to learn from the senior colleague in this particular space.
All right, thank you.
To realize it.
Pelumi, do you want to say something?
Not yet. I'm also waiting for my guys at the top.
All right, Tinubu, do you want to say something, please?
Yes, I'm sure you have something to say.
Yeah, please go ahead. I've read out what the ladies, think about the men. So what do you have to say about that? Samuel, are you there? All right, let's see. Probably Brother Daniel should go ahead. Brother Daniel, you have something to say? Oh, Samuel is here now.
I'm here. I've always been here. Actually, I was just hibernating.
Okay, that's cool. So, what do you have to say about what the lady said? What they think? Is it true? Is there a misunderstanding somewhere?
To a large extent, I think they are very correct with the things I've heard them say thus far. But I don't want to cut in this trap right now. Please let Brother Daniel fire on first. Thank you and God bless you all.
Yeah, but thank you for that. Thank you for that contribution. It's very important for us to know if they were, if they've been able to, say something about the men, if it's actually true. It's good to know, because that's like giving us a step forward into this discussion. Okay, so before Brother Neil talks, right? Let's see who else wants to say something. I'm trying to look at those that are here. Okay, so Brother Neil, you can go ahead. Oh, Damilare. Oh, sorry. For some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead, Damilare.
Yeah, thank you very much for the chance to speak. So I think all has been said are quite valid, and they are essential to build a sustainable home. All right, because really there needs to be sustainability in the system. There needs to be empathy. There needs to be true love. There needs to be a progress plan set up, and to get to know where are you guys going together as a family. And one thing that interests me is that marrying in the church is overrated. Yes, super overrated. Because who you might end up with depends on your circle of friends, right? And you might not get that in the church. So I don't see any reason for any lady to wait for a guy in the church. If you get a guy outside, please just go. If the guy is meet up with what you want for your life. So I think all has been said are quite essential and important. So, but however, how do we make it possible in this context of brothers and sisters in the church is now the major approach we need to see how we can explore to make that possible. Okay, because personally on my own, okay, I have some friends that are poor outside. And last time we had, I was like, this high possibility my life could be outside the church, apparently, because the friends that are poor with the mindset we have are quite similar. And there are those I meet at my workplace, those I meet at my school, those I meet in various places. But having that kind of qualities in a space like the church is something we need to explore, building from the scratch, and having the mindset to do that. Okay, So I would say those what have been said are essential and are pertinent to build a sustainable future for either partners. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a very nice contribution, but what I would like to add to that is that we all have different qualities we're looking for based on our personality, right? It has to do with your personality, so you have to really know yourself, know what you can handle, know what you're capable of, know what you want from life, know your purpose, know your goal, you have that core values. So that is going to help you to be able to make that decision. You have to be strong enough to be able to say, okay, this is what decision I need to make. This is who I want to marry, either in the church or outside. Even if it's going to be outside, you have to know that God is the factor. God is that, any relationship that we keep, God must be honored, right? So we need to keep that in mind in choosing whoever we're going to be choosing. And I'll just pause on there and let Brother Daniel speak. Yeah, before we move to the ladies. What do you think about what the ladies have said?
Yes.
Yes.
Frankly, first, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm glad we are having this platform. It's needful. Now, everything here the ladies said is a declaration of what they want, what they are looking out for. And there is a certain measure of individuality that goes into this whole thing of, getting married to someone, spending the rest of your life with them and all that, considering the belief system we're operating from. So you've got to shine your eyes. Okay. So everything they have said is valid. But speaking as an advocate, so to speak, self-proclaimed advocate for the men, I would like to say that all of us will probably need to go and look at the man in the mirror, like to list some lofty goals. A man has to have money. That particular one, I have a serious problem with it because it has this undertone of a fundamental cultural problem. I don't want to blow it open yet, but you see, it stems from this culture of bride price. The culture of I sat in my father's house, JJ, and then you came to marry me. So, guy, have money. Let me not go too deep, but I just want to say that the ladies have listed that is not men should not live up to. I don't know any guy on this call, on this meeting, that wants to just be broke for the rest of their lives. No, everyone is ambitious, as we have aspirations and all that stuff. But what I am clamoring for is this. If you want all these from a guy, look at the mirror and ask yourself, do I bring this to the table as well? Like, can a guy look at me and see all this? Or am I just keeping myself prim and proper for the guy to come and to go and die for me? The same way Jesus Christ died for the church, and then let me just inherit and enjoy my life and go for vacations in the Maldives and, enjoy the rest of my life and all those kinds of stuff. If you don't want to lie, do you lie? Or are you economical with the truth? If you don't want someone who cheats, thankfully, fresh statistics is coming up now. How you can have 4 children, and by chance, one of them would be your own. So we're beginning to see that the cheating game, men are really, really bad at it. When a man cheats, he's all over the place. He can't even pretend. But a woman can cheat and still take care of you and still, all those kinds of things. So I am particular about, one, like in answer to your question, I love those things that have been listed, they are things we should aspire to as men. But I'm just asking, please, let it be mutual. Like, as you want us to have those things, let us look at you and also see, the fact that you are living up to, you are walking the talk, essentially. That's what I want to say for now.
Okay. Thank you for that. Yeah, and what I will say to that is that you're absolutely right. Whatever the qualities the men are looking for and the qualities the ladies are looking for, you must possess that quality. You must possess that quality. It's a must. If a man is looking for someone that knows how to cook, you must know how to cook, right? Because we all have a separate life before we want to come together and marry. So what do you do in your separate life? If you want the lady to know how to cook, you need to know how to cook. You don't necessarily have to cook all the time, but you need to have that skill that when it's needed, you can come up, you can use that skill. So whatever if you don't want a man that lie, then you too have to be, you have to not lie. If you want a real man who is realistic, you also have to be realistic, right? So it's just simple. It's as simple as that. So thank you for that contribution, Brad Daniel. Okay, let me move to the ladies. Ladies, what do you think about what the men have said, right? The men have said so many things about us. They said we don't engage in conversation. They said we are too quick to jump into conclusion. They said that we judge them by their present and we don't know what their future is. So what can you say about that, please? Who wants to talk?
Hi guys, I want to quickly go because I might go off very soon.
Okay.
I just want to. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you. So I just want to quickly react to what Brother Daniel said about money. When ladies say you must have money, they don't mean Obi Kubana, sharp, like fast, have the cash on ground before you even marry them. They don't necessarily mean like Yahoo boy with Adeboye swag, that kind of thing. No, that's not what we mean. When we say money, we mean prospect, like have this plan and work towards it. And then it's not just you that will work towards this money, it's both of us that will work hand in hand to make this money. Because if you're marrying someone and you want him to do all the work, then now sit down, whatever you get is what you see. But then when they say money, we have some guys or we have some brothers that actually marry ladies for their money as well. Some marry ladies for their families. Some marry ladies because they feel if I marry into this family, they will settle me, they will find me a good job, they will connect me. And many parents now are scared of that fact. And because we all know brother in the church, everybody will say, once I'm a brother, problem. At the end of the day, they will not have issues. And ladies should not restrict their options to inside the church. I'm not saying you should not marry from inside the church. Nobody should quote me that I said that. No. Do not restrict your choices and options into the church. You can go out, bring someone in the church. The brothers that are in the church should assist you to convert that person. If they are your brother, let them help you with that. And then when it comes to, of course, ladies should not be lazy. When it comes to what the brother said about what the brother said about ladies also looking at themselves in the mirror and trying to mirror, like project what they want to attract. It's good. You should also project what you'd like to attract. If you want a good person, be a good person. And it's very, very important that we're all good people. If you're not even a good person to start with, you cannot attract good people. You only attract shagbeloju, people that will deceive you physically, and then at the end of the day, you marry, and then that's the end of it. So for ladies, really, we should just not restrict our options in the Lord. Please. What if these days all our mothers in the past were giving birth to only girls? Will all the sisters, maybe 3 sisters, will marry one brother? Like, we need to go out, spread our tentacles. We are going to school. We are not going to Church of Christ school. We are going to work. We are not going to Church of Christ work. We are traveling. We are doing all sorts. We are not confined in that circle. So why not expand your horizon and your tentacles and speak to people if they are really good people and they mean well? You don't even need to do too much work. Like, they would want to understand the faith and all of the old gospel and everything. You don't even need to do too much. You just pray about it and then do your own. When they ask questions, answer. If the one you cannot answer, call your fellow brother in the church. Hey, Joewa, help me with this question, or help me with this person. I'm trying to. You don't even necessarily have to say, I'm trying to convert them. Invite them to the church. If they want to come, no problem. If they don't want to come, when they are ready, they will. And if it's your own, God will convert the person before you marry. It doesn't necessarily have to be. Everybody's other half is not in the church. And for the brothers as well, if we see, lately, brothers are not marrying in the church. And this is not because they hate sisters in the church. It's because they did not find their own missing rib in the church. And there is nowhere in the Bible that it says that, no. Is that Kikini no Lua? He only says, marrying the Lord. He didn't say marrying the church. And when he says marrying the Lord is God. Marrying God. That's the basic. And then for the money aspect, because me, I like money. And I strive not to be broke. I work hard not to, stay in one place. So whoever I want to attract as well would also have that kind of, like he said, whatever you project is what you would attract. So, of course, nobody wants to be broke. All the guys are hustlers. All the ladies are also, of course, we have lazy sisters. We do not lie. But still, let's not sit on that fact and say in the church, blah, blah, blah. And that particular fact where people will tell you, you are married into this family, you are already made. Don't worry, you'll be fine. They will get you a job. They will settle you. That one especially is my own major issue. Like marrying the Lord, and it blinds everybody to that aspect. And honestly, it's just not. Would I say it's not fair, or it's just not right for people to have that kind of mindset and to think like that? But we should all project what we want to attract.
Okay, so I have some things. I can see some hands up. I'm going to call you shortly, Brother Daniel, Shegun, and one other person, MJ. I think I saw your hand. I'm going to call the 3 of you, but before I do that, I want to really quickly, summarize and add some things to what Alice just said. So she talked about money, and like people will say, "Oh, money is good. Money gives you the opportunity to be able to do some things, to be able to achieve." And the Bible talks about working hard. When you work hard, you get your money. So, but money does not bring happiness. It's fine when you have that money and you're able to get all that you need. It gives you some form of peace of mind, happiness. But at the end of the day, some people have all that money and they're not still happy. So I just want to clear that money is good. And then if a brother does not have money today, he's going to work hard and going to, once he can have the good behavior, the right perspective towards money, the perspective towards life, then the money is going to come. God is is a general God. So that's that about that. And then the conversion, like converting a person. Well, marrying in the Lord is what the Bible says. And the person has to be willing to accept that religion. Because we see some people that they accept the religion, and along the line they just, maybe family wise, you can see a family disturbing that man and say, your wife has taken you out of the church and this, and you just see the man listening to the family's his family, and you start to see that the man will change, and or everything will just crumble. So we have to be it has to be someone that has the mind of his own, someone that is really, really convinced, convicted about what the religion is about to, accept, someone that really, is willing, not someone that, is being forced into it. And then you talk about if you're, yeah, I love the fact that you said if you're good, you're going to attract good. And that's just the simple truth. If you're very good and you're a good person, you're going to attract someone that is good. That doesn't mean that good people don't attract bad, but the good person has to, shine her eyes and make sure that she's not running to the wrong hand. So that's just what I need to say. And then I'll ask Shegun to go next. Shegun, do you have something you want to say?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good
Yeah,
evening, Victoria.
yes, good evening, Shegun.
Yeah, I just joined not quite long ago, so
No
I
problem.
didn't know the program had started.
Mm.
Yeah, but, from little I've gathered, yeah, I've been able to that is done a lot. I just wanted to add that way the way the world is going now, and what we are seeing is forcing a kind of behavioral change, especially in both genders. Especially when it comes, well, I will always talk from the men's perspective. I personally believe we are being cheated left, right, and center. But anytime we complain, we are being told to, well, deal with it, or, well, yeah, the guy, you'll be fine, that kind of thing. And really, it's causing more harm than good. Now, when it comes to what you are looking for and this thing, yeah, for the sister that spoke last concerning, okay, that she's trying to paint a picture like, maybe, yes, we know you are not looking for big Cubana, but you are looking for, okay, are you hardworking and this thing. Actually, that's not what we see out there. Ladies are actually looking for the Obi Cubana kind of people, even in the church. I've had experiences personally and even from others. So I don't want us to be, maybe she can say personally she won't be looking for the Obi Kubanas, but from what I have witnessed, that is basically people. You even see some even form this mantra that well, good behavior will not put food on the table. You see. So when you have that kind of mindset, and it's really bad because it gives men this idea that, okay, it's like it is this money that they need. So at the end of the day, when the guy goes to work hard and finally finds the money, and keeps showering maybe the girl, the woman or the lady with the money, and at the back of his mind, you are telling him that, okay, that's all that matters to you. So if he's even failing in other aspects, he won't see it because, like, well, I'm doing what you want. It's not money you want. It's not money you want. No problem. So, but my point is even this. It's not that it is a bad thing to look for someone who has money. My own is, you, your own self. Are you rich? Do you have money? You get. So, okay, if you are not saying that, oh, well, I'm not lazy, I'm hustling and this thing. Okay, the guy too is hustling. Why don't you marry the hustling guy? And both of you grow together. But that is not what we see. You see that we have seen many experiences. Even people in this group knows that you will see you are dating someone, you are both struggling, you are trying to make ends meet and make things work out. Then one guy just comes from somewhere, he's already made, probably has a car and this thing, and then the next thing you see is that you start hearing excuses. Before you know it, out of relationship, jumps onto the guy with money, off they go. The next thing you'll be seeing Ivy in the next 3 months, they are getting married. And it goes on and on and on like that. On the girl side, try to stand on your own and have your money. On the guy side, also have your own money. In fact, my own personal wish, my personal wish is this. I wish that everybody is averagely okay, so that we will stop using this money, this financial stability as a yardstick anymore. So that if I'm looking at a girl, or if a girl is looking at a brother, or this thing, if the financial aspect is not even in your back of you are looking at other things like, okay, how's his behavior? Is he caring? Does he listen? Other important things But what you find out is that the money has already shielded the majority part of the scope of what they are looking for, that they even fail to look at the other even more important behaviors of the girl or of the lady. And what you now find out is that by the time they now enter the relationship and then all those things are now coming up, they will now start complaining that, so you have been pretending all this while. My sister, it's not about pretense. You were just blind. You were just blind. You only seeing the money. You only seeing the money. In fact, I have noticed a particular trend now, and if you look well, you will notice that it is true. Let's take, for example, let's take it from the university level. If you are a girl or someone you're saying this thing, you are dating, you are going out, and because you are still trying to struggle through life, you graduated, you are still struggling, and at the end of the day, a rich guy will come, take your girl, you'll be heartbroken, they go. What happens is that by the time you two get to the level of the person that girl gets to, you are now also comfortable. You are probably going to do the same thing. You also go to this guy and just pick up another person who is actually dating another hustling guy, and pick them and go. So you see the circle. And I will also have to chip in this too. When it even comes to the cheating game, also, I also see this play out. I can tell you for this that many guys who think that they cannot cheat, if you go and find out, 80% is because they don't have the money, they don't have the resources to carry out that act. So by the time they are now comfortable, then they have money to attract more girls and then cheat and then do whatever they like. So because they know that is what they want, that okay, if it's girls, maybe it's just money. By the time they use money to entice them, by the time they chop this one finish, clean out, they go to the next one. You get? So, but if we are in a society whereby money is really not the problem, you will not find a guy trying to use money to attract the lady. He will just tell you to hell with your money. To hell with your money. So we have to really, clean out that mindset of, that's, well, when the other lady, that spoke last, said that, there are guys who that marry rich girls and this thing. Well, that's a new development, because guy advice discovered that, wait, hey, we want to enjoy, we want a family where there's money, so that I won't have to, be waiting for the hustling guy or the hustling girl. Me too want to be taken care of. I want to enjoy life too. Not that one girl will be carrying all my money away. Me too, I want to enjoy life. I want a rich family. So it's not only girls that are now looking for where the land is soft. Guys who are looking for where the land is also soft. So two can play the game. If that's what you want, then let's see now. Yeah, that's all for now, guys.
Thank you, Shego. Brother Daniel, I want you to go ahead, but before you go, I want us to, take it like step by step so that we won't have an issue that is not addressed. So I'll call you next. I just want to quickly say something. I think the Obi Kubana thing about money, it's a misunderstanding. It's one of the misunderstandings that the men and the women have, that we need to, just clear that, thought in our head. So, I would think that ladies should not think about money. Fine, money is important, money is good, but we should look at other qualities, like those qualities, those life qualities would eventually come to, be fruitful at the end of the day. Because I'll use myself as an example. I'm sorry. I just want to be real. I want us to be real. The thing is, when I was dating my husband right now, he has no money. Seriously, he has no money. But what it wasn't that it's not that I don't want money. We all want money, right? But all those qualities that he has is what will even keep him when he has money. Because if money is the first thing, then in your home, money will just, when the money is not there, you guys won't be happy. So you have to, eventually when you marry, those good qualities are what you both will be relating with. Like, you have to deal with his excesses. So if it's not good right from the start, if the money is what is driving you, then you will just find out that you're married, you're happy, you have all the money. Sorry, not happy. You're married, you have all the money, but you're not happy. Something is missing. Something is going to be missing. I'm a testimony of that. I have everything that I want, I have everything that I need, but there's still something missing. And that thing for me is not fulfilling purpose, right? That is what I felt was missing for me. So money is good, is going to help you, both of you, achieve so much more, but the good behavior is even more important than money. So that's from my own side. And then I want you all to know that life comes in stages. Life comes in stages. If you look at everybody around us, nobody really has that money while you're like single. But as time goes on, the money is going to come. So I'm just saying this for those ladies that are looking for money. Money is not the most important thing. Having someone that has purpose, someone that has that leadership qualities, someone that is good, like that has, good intellect, an intelligent, smart person, that's the most important thing we should look for. Because when he has all those things, he's going to, use those things to bring the money in. So that's for the ladies that they're looking. Life comes in stages. You don't want to like jump those stages. If you jump those processes, there will be a problem. So, and when it comes to marrying someone that is ready or not ready, I will say that when you know the person that you're dating, when you know that person, that quality should be able to give you enough assurance that you need to stay in that relationship or you need to leave that relationship. Because I know so many people have seen some people that they left the person they are dating because probably they saw someone that is ready and has money. Fine, I know ladies look at their biological clock, but we also should look for people that we can grow together. There was a time I listened to a marriage, something online. Sure, it was organized by some people and they brought in some couples. So I got to know that AY live show. You know AY now. AY with his girlfriend, with his wife now. They met each other before they were even rich. Right? Before they even got this, before they are this rich, they've been dating, they've met each other even before the guy had money at all. So that's one of the things we should look for. Someone you grow together with. You can get to understand that person very well, and you can get to even know that person more deeply before the money comes in. So I think I have other things that I need to say about, but I would, stop and get quiet. Rather now, you can go ahead now. Sorry, I kept you. Yeah.
No, thank you very much. Those who have spoken well. And I just want us to say that we need to look at both sides of the story. Okay, yes. I think there is a huge fraud going on in the relationship circle these days that Alice was trying to draw our attention to. And that huge fraud is that we have so many delinquent males, boys that were not trained. They don't have home training. They are spoiled brats. They are handsome. They are fresh, but they are not ready to do anything. So what they do is that they hunt. They use their baritone voices, their fresh looks, the fact that they are socially inclined to kind of lure a lady that they know is from a wealthy background. So at the end of the day, once they get in and marry her, they become a pain in the neck. That's a given, that's a fact. And we cannot deny it. It's all over the place. The second thing we have seen is also that, yes, good people, no matter how kind, how gentle, how loving and dedicated you are, you can still fall into the wrong hands. There are many ladies who are suffering in their marriages now not because they were not good people, but because for some reason they I don't want to blame them, but I feel that a lot of it has to do with the authority figures in our lives. So your preacher comes and tells you, this brother is a faithful brother, so you go with him. At the end of the day, you realize the so-called faithful brother has been putting up a front and has been acting in a way to make the preacher think he is faithful. He leads in songs, he is the first person to arrive at evangelism and all that stuff. So you assume he is in the law, whereas he isn't. He's just a good grammar of the scriptures. So we must be able to get some things right. However, I want to sound the warning. There is a tendency for us to be using experiences to make choices. When I see people around me, can we mute our mics, please? It's really distracting. Someone's mic is unmuted.
Thank you for that.
Okay. Yeah. Now, let's be careful not to use experiences to determine our choices. If you use the experiences you have seen around you, probably the experiences of others and all that stuff, it is going to cause problem. Prospects, somebody mentioned, okay, Alice mentioned prospects, that you want guys with prospects. Thankfully, Shegun dealt with that properly. See, like you said, Sister Victoria,
yes, sir.
There is the thing about being kind. Look for kindness. Look for somebody that is trained. When you are kind, there is no way you will be in the house. You'll be watching sports and expect your wife to go and labor for you. A kind man will work, and a man who is dutiful will earn money.
Yes.
He may not just be a big Cubana. All right. Yes, most of our ladies are looking for already made men. They want to sit in the front and use seat belt in his own car. What happened to your own car? There is a fundamental problem there that we need to address. There is this worship of money in this part of the world. If you go to other places where they have solved the problem of food, shelter, and clothing, where an average person has food to eat, there's power supply, there is transportation, and all that, you will notice that most of those ladies will not look for money. Most of them, not all. They will instead look for qualities in a man. They don't even mind feeding him, provided he is kind.
Yes, yes.
The other thing I want to mention is there was a survey I conducted a while back on this cheating of a thing. Why do men cheat? And I was trying to find that out. And then I realized that it is because of the culture that places the financial responsibility of the home on the man. And then we use 1 Timothy 5 verse 8 to support that ideology. A man who cannot provide for his family is worse than an infidel. So what happens then is that the man dedicates himself to making money, to having more than his family can ever need. But he has needs also. A man needs to feel seen. A man needs to feel alive. A man needs to know that, yes, I'm a man in my own right. So more often than not, most women, most wives, unfortunately, can never have enough. And then there is the secretary, and then there is the girl at the bar that sort of lavishes attention on them, respects them, shows them love and all that stuff. Now, gradually, a man's brain begins to be rewired to think that, well, family is duty. If you want to enjoy your life, go to this one. And this is a message to most singles here. Let us get it. Let's not get it twisted. Do not ever make money a foundational reason for marriage. If you do, it's your choice. I can tell you for a fact that you can have a man who is responsible and has money, or will have money. So when we talk about prospects, it's important for us to define what prospects we are talking about. You see, the whole idea of marrying in the church here, I have already given my own proposition on it. And by God's grace, I'm doing my best to work on it. The only reason we are arguing about marrying in the church or marrying in the Lord is because, permit me to say this with all due respect, most of our forebears, most of those who have come before us have failed in their responsibility. there are many young boys and girls in the church. How are we helping them to skill up so that they can scale up in life? What attention do we pay to them to ensure that they are the best specimen when they talk about, look good in boys, look good in girls, as the case may be? Do we make sure that we have the best, the creme de la creme? I don't think I would see a Bentley, a Bugatti Veyron, and then I would say it is Ijapa or it is 504. I want to go and be driving. There is a fundamental problem. When you look around your congregation, you attend, youth camps, and then you see the quality and caliber of youth you can see there. There is no way you would not want to look outside. But I tell you the truth, there is a principle in the Old Testament that carries on to the New Testament and carries on till today. In the Old Testament, what was that principle? Most of them were marrying from their families. Abraham would marry his half-sister. Isaac would do the same. Jacob would go and do the same. He gets why. And you have to understand, he gets why. See, there are some things that you will eventually realize later. And you will be thanking God that you did not go too far from home. You will become Spider-Man, but you will not have webs far away from home. That is what is going to happen. But see, if you have someone who is in the Lord, all of us are works in progress, all right? But as we are works in progress, we have to be able to discern. Don't assume that because somebody is a member of your church, or because somebody can preach, or because somebody is eloquent, and they are members, that they are good people. You have to know how to detect, how to check for character. And these things do not come on you automatically. They come by learning. So you have gone to learn to be an engineer. You have gone to, you know everything there is to know about, computers and all that stuff. But do you understand emotions? Do you understand character? Do you know the psychometric tests that you need to carry out on the person you want to settle down with? Do you know what to check for? That is why some of our members fall prey into wolves in sheep's clothing. But there is a principle, there is a guideline that has been provided for you to be able to detect the wolves. You don't have to fall into the hands of wolves. Many of our sisters fall into the hands of wolves because they listened to the preacher or a father figure ahead of what they are supposed to do. So they place responsibility on them. Many of them fall into the hands of wolves because they are looking at the physical appearance instead of also checking the family that this person is coming from. So many people fall into the hands of wolves, and this goes both ways. Even guys too, the same thing. Because she's pretty, you think that is all there is to know. See, you will come to realize that the conversations you will have with her mother when you are away from home will matter. It will determine the choices she will be making. A wife that you kissed before leaving home, you will come back home and she will suddenly become something else, and you begin to wonder what happened. Only for you to realize that they have spoken on the phone and they have changed it for you. But if you marry somebody who comes from, a background where there is this commonality in our belief system, it is really going to go a long way in helping you. You will feel this sense of safety and security. But the real problem now is, let us look to make sure that our boys and our girls are sound in character. They are sound in skills. Like, are you skillful? They are sound when it comes to emotional intelligence. There are some tests you will conduct and you will say this one is not ready for marriage. All those things. But most of us is once you graduate school, you get a good job, you get an apartment. The next thing they start telling you, when are you going to marry? Even though you still cannot clean up after yourself after 20-something years in life. So at the end of the day, it becomes a problem. We have to get this right, because I am all for, let's get to the root cause of the problem. Why are we now debating marrying in the Lord? Is it not because we have seen that there's so much fraud in the Lord? Is it not because we have been unable to detect the wolves among us? Is it not because we have come to a point where all of us forget that life is not just about your career. Life is also about your spirit. In fact, it is more about your spirit. than whatever it is this world may afford you. And you need to be mindful of that. You need to really pay attention to it. So let us, I just want to drop this and say that all in all, I try to scan through the people on this call, and I don't see those people here, but just in case this message goes out to those who are not here. Every young man who has self-esteem, who has integrity, who wants to make impact, leave the world better than they met it, will not marry you for your money. In fact, it may even be your money or your family's money that may put them off. Number two, every lady who is on this call that I'm seeing right here, I don't know everyone, but at least those that I know, they are not looking for men that are already made. They are not looking for men that are Obi Kubana. But all what they are looking for, I perceive, is peace of mind. Somebody that is going to help them to be able to enjoy the journey of life. That they can talk to, that can listen, that will not say, your husband is the head of the home. Your husband is the head of the home every time. It is usually low self-esteem that makes a man say that. You don't need to say it. When you do what the head is supposed to do, she will call you my lord. She won't know when she will call you my lord.
Yes.
That's a fact.
Yes.
Take it, you can take it to the bank. So I'm appealing, I'm begging. See, let us not do what they call hasty generalization and then assume that every brother, you approach every brother with suspicion. No. Let's remove that mentality. Give each one of us a day in court, our day in court. Allow us to show you what we have got. Many of us are where we are today. We are financially capable because we had parents who could take care of us, who could send us to the best schools. So now you are suddenly seeing a brother who is struggling with English grammar, and you are judging him on the basis of that. It is wrong. Go wrong now. I want you to look at what is in the heart of this brother. Is he the kind of person that when you correct his grammar, he will begin to pick offense and say, Mama, or is the kind of brother that will be able to say, thank you, that's why I love you. You see that grammar that you know, please continue to help me with it. You want to look at that humility. Because if somebody like me now, I know where I'm coming from. It's not like my father is an Obi Kubana. I know where I'm coming from. So if you see me now, you are expecting me to be living in Banana Island so that you can marry me. Even me, I'm not marrying you. I don't want you. So I know I've married. And thank God my wife is happy with me. If she's not happy, it's not your cup of coffee. So then on a final note, I want to say, every guy here, it's important that you make it a point of duty to make your wife successful. Very important. Make sure you frustrate her life until she's successful, because it is going to do a lot for you. It is going to give you, Ecclesiastes chapter 4, if you read verses 9 and 10, it says, two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. Now, we have a society where men feel powerful when their wives have to depend on them. So they begin to use their financial capacity to make her submissive. We need to reverse that trend. That's not what God wants. You need your wife to be sound. You need your wife to be financially able. You need your wife to be emotionally stable. You need your wife to be someone that can handle issues, because that's what we saw in the woman in Proverbs 31, and that's why her husband could rest. So guys, sisters or ladies, as the case may be, let all of us purge ourselves of existentialism. That's experiences of people. You know, work for you, no means say no go work for me. So please, day your day, let me day my day. 2, let us seek out people who can teach us. People like Victoria, okay, who can talk to us about the things to look out for, about how to test someone. So don't just call me to come and preach to your prospective husband. Call me also to come and help you check him. Who is he? I can give you some tests that you can conduct to know, is this guy worth the salt, or is he just a master pretender? You need to learn that. Very, very important. Number 3, I want to beg every one of us, as much as we can, let us ensure that we do not become hypercritical of one another. So I have these issues. You have yours too. You know, I like that Asha song, Jailer. I'm a prisoner. You're a prisoner too, Mr. Jailer. All of us are like Mr. Jailer. The guys want the girls that have been made in heaven, and they should just come and drop them at their feet. The ladies want the guy that has been made in heaven, and they should come and drop him at their feet. It will not work like that. We have to recognize that God placed us in one another's lives so that we can push one another to achieve success, to achieve, to make impact in one another's life. So when you find a person who meets some of the fundamental requirements that God has placed right there, he has a fear of God, she has a fear of God, they are kind-hearted. Kindness is a very key thing. A kind person will not be lazy. Okay, you check for those fundamentals. Then the rest, please, as much as possible, understand that with God's help and with a dedication to a life of love and a commitment, you can actually help them, give them reasons to want to change, because you won't change them, but you will give them reasons to want to change because you dedicate to a life of love with them. Shalom.
Thank you, Brother Daniel, for that wonderful, contribution. It has a lot of details in it, and yeah, you made mention of about you tried to say a lot about why they should marry in the Lord, and there are so many examples in the Bible of those that when Abraham was going to look for a wife for Isaac, he asked the servant to go and meet his family back in Egypt, right? Was he in Egypt? Yeah, it was. I can't remember the city. He asked his servant to go and look for a wife from his tribe. It's very important to marry someone from your tribe because you have both understanding. Fine, we are human beings, we are work in progress, but it's a lot easier. It gives you peace of mind at the end of the day in the marriage. So
Sister Victoria.
Yes.
Sorry, I want to beg you. Mm-hmm. That example you gave, I want you to add something little to it. Okay. Yes, Abraham begged the servant to go and look for a wife from his tribe. Mm-hmm. But we often ignore what the servant used as a yardstick for picking that woman. Mm-hmm. Kindness.
Yes.
Kindness was the yardstick. Mm-hmm. He said, the person that will help me. See, that is the thing, ma. Let me say English because some people may not understand Yoruba. Kindness is the most important thing to look for. What made Rebecca the wife of Isaac? Was she because she was perfect? We saw later how she kind of did something wrong as a mother, right? Mm-hmm. But there was something about her. Kindness. She helped Eliezer to, she not only gave him water, she fed his cattle. And that is a key thing. Are you a member of the church? Check. Are you in the Lord? It's important. And how do you know somebody who is in the Lord? Compassion, love of God. They don't want to just shady balabala with you. They actually want something serious. They are not just taking you to go and smoke shisha. They want to actually help you to grow. And they are doing this selflessly. Thank you.
Yeah, they don't want anything in return. Yes. Yes. Thank you for that wonderful contribution. And yeah, you're very right about kindness, because at the end of the day, you want someone that is kind enough, because when you eventually marry this person, there are some things money cannot do. And that you need the other person's kindness to step in. So if you have used money as the yardstick, you just hear the man say, you want something, go and take money. You want this guy use money, and then you be like, is money going to solve all the problem? No. So you need that kindness to come into play. So you talked about the wolves, like there's men in wolves clothing. So I want to add that the only way we can know and be able to detect those kind of people is the Holy Spirit. That's why we mentioned in the first episode that you need God. God is the first thing that you need to cling on to, because when you have that deep relationship with God, the Holy Spirit controls your thought, your everything about you, and it will give you that discernment to be able to know the right from wrong, to be able to detect who the right person is and who the wrong person is. It takes your personal deep, relationship with God for you to be able to know those things. Because when you're good, God, naturally would make things easier for you, because you have that. God is going to give you that understanding to be able to know who is good and who is not. And family check is very important, right? And then another thing I would say about the family, because we all, even men wants to marry someone from a good family, women want to marry someone from the men wants to marry someone from a good family, and the women too wants to do that. But there's another thing that we need to check, because we all have different types of families nowadays. There are some families that they are not well to do, but there's another thing that you can do. If you will come from a family that you're not proud of, how have you been able to improve on your own self? How have you been able to develop yourself? How have you been able to come out from that bad place and make yourself a good person, so you can make yourself available, make yourself like the person might not just there are some men that like men that are looking for kindness, so they won't look at your background, they'll look at what you have to offer, they'll look at what purpose that you have. So those are the good qualities that they will tap into. So don't let us say, okay, probably because of my background, that's why someone is not looking at my side, that's why I'm not getting married. You can work on yourself and push yourself to become better, and pull yourself out of that bad situation. So humility is very important, kindness and all those good attributes. And you mentioned the Proverb 31 woman, and that you need to be strong. We need to be strong as ladies in this time and age that we are. Men are not the only one putting things on the table. Seriously, if you're waiting for the men to put everything on the table, the man is going to order you around and you won't even be happy. You must be able to contribute something. Like, there are several ways in which you contribute, right? It doesn't have to be you working. There are several ways. It could be contributing to the happiness of that man, right? That you're not disturbing him to do this, do that. Even the peace of mind you're giving him, the support you're giving him to go on his career, to make things happen for himself, is enough. So that sums up the Proverb 31 woman. So you need to be, for the ladies, you need to be strong enough, and and also be able to work on yourself and be more productive. And it's like I said, everything comes in stages. Everything comes in stages. You don't have to say, oh, am I going to do it now? No, it comes in stages. Just start from where you are and what you have with you. Like, if you're a student, focus on school. If you need to be in a relationship, be wise enough, be smart enough to do that. So like you said, we need each other to be successful. Like, it takes two to tango. In this world that we have, it takes two to be successful. You can't do it alone. So there's this Galaxy Note 9. I don't know the name of the person. The person raised his hand, and I don't know if the person would like to go ahead and talk now.
Hey, Vicky.
Hi, bro. My brother-in-law, bro, Joseph Valari. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. I've been quietly listening to everybody speak, and I think majority of the contributors, they spoke well. And I wanted to just share some thoughts with every one of you. First, I wanted to commend every one of you here for finding time to be part of this program. And wanted to let you know that if you take God out of your plan, you're going to fail. Why? It's simple. God created this world. He created this earth. He created us. He knows us better than, even more than ourselves. He gave us a law and instructions to follow to make our lives better. If you ignore those instructions, if you ignore those laws, you will have headache. And here, this is why. Because we are contending with the devil. That's one. You're contending with the devil that wants to ensure that you fail. And if you do not have God on your side, you're going to fail. Because the devil is very smart and has all the wit to bring you down. None of us here on this platform, gathered here, have the wisdom to deal with the devil. But with the instruction and the Holy Spirit, we are striving, we are thriving. So if you ignore God and do not obey his commands, you're going to fail. It's just plain and simple. It's simple. Now, talking about money as the basis or the yardstick for getting into marriage. Money is good. It's good to have money. Without money, so many things wouldn't be done. But let me tell you, you will even have money, and yet so many things wouldn't be done. Don't let money be your yardstick to marriage. When I got married, for so many people that know my story here, I do not have money. I do not have money. But my wife, who was a chartered accountant, she saw so many qualities that pertains to what God says a man should have. And she decided to give me a try. I remember I would tell her that first when I call her and I wanted to date her, I told her, I said, hey, I said, I just want you to listen. I like you and I want us to date. And I told her, I said, and I want this to end up in marriage. I don't want a situation where, oh, I'm coming, I just want to test the waters. And no. I told her my intention right from the beginning. And you know what? She'd never said yes. She just said, if God wills. And you know what? She kept praying and asking God for direction, asking God to show her signs that if I was the right person. She has a quality she was looking at from the scriptures. And after we got married, she told me that I met all the qualities. And she was looking for a sign from God to let her know that I'm not the right person. But each time she has God that, oh God, please let this happen so I can know. And she was like, something else would happen. And then she knows that, oh yeah, he's the right person. But now today, I can afford anything I want to afford. Anything I want to buy, I can afford it. If I want to go get something now, I'll go out and get it. But then when we got married, and I didn't have that money. I didn't. But she saw some quality that this person is hardworking. This person is reliant. This person is reliable. This person has God's love in his mind. And, I know this, what I'm about to say now has been dragged to the mud several times. Let love be the centerpiece to marriage. Because let me tell you, even after when you get married, you will be tested. Your love for each other will be tested. Both of you will cry. Even as Christian, it doesn't matter if you're married to a Christian. It doesn't matter if you're married to an unbeliever. Your marriage will be tested, and you will cry if you don't know God. Let God be the centerpiece, and I will tell you why. See, Jesus came to this world because he loved us, right? And when he was on the cross, before he got to the cross, he went through a lot of pain. He went through a lot of shame. He went through a lot of agony. It was painful for him. You know, someone that hasn't sinned, someone that didn't commit any offense, and he was being beaten. They stripped him of his clothing in the cold. How did I know it was cold? Because Peter, when he denied him, he was beside the fire. Doing what? Getting warm. They stripped our Lord of his clothing, and they placed a crown thorn on his head. And finally, they suspended him on the cross of Calvary. For what? For what? For offenses he didn't commit. But he did it because he loved us. He said, God, it was painful for him that he had to tell God that, Lord, please, let this cup pass over me. But God let him pass through here so that we can enjoy what we have today. I can call you my brother today. I can call sister. I can call you my sisters today. Before Victoria, we become blood family or physical family. We're already spiritual families. And that's the good part of it. Now I'm looking at a brother Damilare Oyedele. I don't know him. I've not met him. But this is my brother. That's the blessing we have in God. And we have this blessing because Jesus loved us. He prioritized the love he has for every one of us over any other thing else. So if you let the love to be your centerpiece, no matter what comes after marriage, you're going to survive. We've been through, we have a fair share of our own troubles. My wife and I, when we got married, it even started, not up to a year after we got married. And when you marry, whether you marry in the Lord or you marry outside of the Lord, you're going to face trouble. That's what it is. You're going to face it. So now you want to choose. Do you want someone that is going to help you survive when that trouble comes?
Yes, yes.
Or you want someone that will be dragging you somewhere else? That's when you need to choose. Because no marriage is devoid of problem. No marriage. If you ask your preacher will tell you their own fair share of their trouble. So let us have that at the back of our mind. We're going to have troubles. And the Bible told us that we're going to have troubles. So you need a companion that is going to love you, that is going to help you to overcome or to strive and work together when that trouble comes. And that's the essence of marriage. You would have kids. You all will grow together. But guess what? Your kids will leave you. You're going to be with your spouse. Right? Today, I left my parents. I'm here. My younger brother left his parents too. He got married. And so are my brothers and my younger sisters. But guess what? My dad and my mom, they're still together. They have to look after each other. You need to list qualities stipulated by the Lord. Mm-hmm. If you fail in that, you have failed already before getting into marriage. If you fail to do that, you have failed already before getting into that marriage. Because you will be tried. You will be tried. Is everybody here too young to know the story of Ezekiel? You are too young to know that story, right? Okay. Ezekiel has money. He has lots of money. And it was through rituals. talk about vehicles, ghosts, phantoms. He has those then when I was very young. He has all those in the early 90s or late 80s, but he died. And guess what? Everything collapsed after he died. Money, as the Bible says, it answers all things, but the love of it is the root of all evil. So don't let money be your deciding factors when you want to get married. I know for a certain I don't have money when I got married, but today my wife and I, we will get. So please, I beg you, for the love of God, and let God be your guiding principle. Let the Bible that God has blessed us with, has given us to guide our lives, let it be your guiding principle. When you follow the instructions listed in those scriptures, I mean, you will find peace. You will find peace. You will find peace. You will. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bro Larry, for that summary of the whole thing. Like, for in case, for everybody that is here, I didn't invite him, so don't think probably, you told your brother-in-law to come. No, I did not invite.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm crashing you up.
No. You're welcome. It's just an open invite. So he loved you guys so much. He wants us to get it right. That's why he's joining us today. So I really appreciate you for jumping in. I would love to see more of you around. We'd love to learn.
Sister Victoria.
Yes.
On behalf of the brothers, of the guys who are here, I want you to arrange a session with Brother Larry.
Okay.
Let us bring him again. When the ladies are not there, we have some talk.
Do you know that this is all God. This is all God's doing, because actually in the form that the feedback form, I've already put in the feedback form that you guys should let me know those you want me to bring in. Like, couples that you want me to bring in and then you want to learn from them. I already put it in the feedback form. So please, when you get that feedback form, please fill it and put the name of the couple you want me to bring in, and you want to ask them questions. You want to probably hear their love story, and probably we can learn one or two things from each other. We need, people in the church. We need to learn from each other and not just base our knowledge on what we see on social media or what we see outside there. They can be misleading. And they can, lead us to where it's not right. So we need, as people of the same faith, like minds, to learn from them. So thank you for that wonderful contribution. And about 10 minutes to the head. Before we go, I was talking about some things that the sisters talked about, and that is part of this discussion. I just wanted to put that at the last, so that will not take over the conversation, so we can talk about the general things that we've said, that the men and the ladies have said, and we have just done that. So the questions the ladies asked me, and we tried to provide solutions to it, but I would also like to know the solutions the men have to give to this question. So there's a particular lady that asked a question about how to deal with a brother who is constantly asking for sex in a relationship. So someone asked a question about how can you deal with a brother, as in this is a brother, a brother that constantly asks for sex in a relationship. That question was asked, someone asked that question in the ladies group. So we try to, find some solutions to it, but I would like to hear from the brothers what they think about that, what they have to say about that question.
All right. Let me jump on it.
Okay.
It's one of those things I was saying earlier that we need to look out for. See, I know some of the brothers who are here on this platform. I know them. When I say I know them very well. Some of them are too ambitious to even have time for sex. That's case number one. And that tells you a lot. That's one. Two, like we've been saying, there is a need for us to be rooted in God. See, there are some things that, you might find yourself in compromising situations and all that kind of stuff. The sexual urge, God placed it there, but there are guiding principles that surround it. He expects us to, express or consummate it, so to speak, in the marital relationship. So if there is a brother in the Lord, in church, quote and unquote, who is doing that, it tells you something, that there is a part of him that is not yet formed, that is not yet trained.
Yeah.
There was an insight I had a while back. I was just thinking, why did God have to restrict sexual intercourse to the marital relationship? And then I figured that, come to think of it, when you marry, it is not every time that both of you will be available to have sex with each other. But if you have not learned or trained yourself to exercise that control before you get married, so your wife is away, probably on business, before you know it, you are looking for a quick fix. So, but if you have been able to exercise that discipline from the time you attain puberty to the time you marry, you have been able to learn how to control that emotion, how to keep that urge in check, in line with God's will. It will help you in your marriage. So if a guy is pestering a lady for sex, he keeps asking her for sex, it is not only sex that will be that guy's problem. He has a general problem of impatience. He has a general problem of lack of discipline. He has a general problem of lack of self-control. So I will not be surprised if he becomes a wife beater, for example, because his wife got him hungry. I will not be surprised if he is cutting corners to make money because for some reason he's unable to endure hardship, he's unable to wait. So a guy that keeps asking for sex, number 3, probably does not even have any intentions to marry you. You're just attractive sexually and he wants to achieve the goal. You're a trophy for him. So once he is able to conquer, he moves on. And then he looks for new territories to, check and go, touch and go, chop and go, all those times. He looks for a new territory to dominate. So in answer to that question, I would just say to the lady what the angels told Lot, run for your life. But the fear of being stranded makes ladies sometimes want to be like, okay, maybe I can help him and all that kind of stuff. Please run for your life when he is ready, when he is mature, when he is able to exercise self-control, which, by the way, is a fruit of the Spirit, which you cannot have unless you are in the Lord, unless you are in God, unless you are truly in Christ. Then he can find a partner and do things the right way. There's that. Now, let me get a little bit more practical. And I would say that the waiting time sometimes before we get married, due to socioeconomic factors, can be a huge problem. There's no reason to turn a lady into lady of the ring. If you know you're not ready, as much as possible, just keep the relationship as platonic as possible, because let's not deceive ourselves. There are times when you will find yourself compromising the standard you have even set for yourself when you do not keep things within the provisions that God has given in the word. Satan is very deceitful, and scripture says we are not unaware of the devil's schemes. So we need the word of God, like Brother Larry said earlier, to be able to best Satan, to be able to conquer Satan. So I would say that, yes, as much as you can, please keep things short, keep things straight to the point, and go for it. Once you know the love is right there at the center, just go for it. Don't say, those excuses that we give, in short. Let's not give them. Let's go for it. And if you know you are not ready, as much as possible, avoid situations that would, put you, that would make somebody continue to pester you to have sex with them. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that wonderful contribution again. And yeah, you've kind of said it all, and I'm still going to throw it open to, because we might not know, we don't know if someone else has something to say, and I'm still going to throw it open. And you said the person should be rooted in God. Like if he is really, really into God, then he would have that patience, which is a fruit of the Spirit, like you mentioned. And the person whoever is doing that is immature, just like, and the person is impatient and lacks self-control. So if truly the person, is God-fearing, then he would have all the, fruit of the Spirit enough. And then you said something about the real men are too busy to do that, and that's just the truth. And that was one of the solutions I provide. I said that once you're busy, like get busy, get something doing. Like once you're busy, fine, you might still come to your mind, but you can always, talk to yourself, have that self-control, and focus on what is more important. So you must be able to control your emotions, right? Must be able to, even Paul said in the Bible that he calls himself to order, like, so that he won't miss the goal, right? So the goal is ever. So he also has problems and issues, but he tries to, put himself into order so that he can be fit for the kingdom. So self-control is very important. And then you said something about why God has, why God gave that rule, right? To wait before marriage. Sex is something that once you start doing it, it's very difficult to stop it. Very, very difficult. And that was one of the things we said in the ladies group, that it's very, very difficult to stop once you start indulging in it. And then that self-control also comes to play, that when you're married, when you eventually get married, and definitely life comes in, because for most of us, it's only when you just first married that you say, oh, I love you and all that. When after some time, the love is still there, but life comes in. Like life, you have to go, look for other things like job, children, work, family. Life comes in. So what are you going to rely on if you've not exercised that self-control, if you have not trained your body, and that's why there are a lot of divorce outside there, that when the man is away, the woman is also doing something else, or the man is also doing, engaging extramarital affairs, because they've not been able to call that body into control. They've not exercised that self-control right from when they were, before they even got married. So that's why they've not been able to, that's why their highs is outside, and that's why there are a lot of divorce rates going on outside there. So God has a plan and purpose for everything. So if you know that, for just like Brother Daniel said, you should, if you're not ready, right, just keep friendship and just get on, like I was telling someone, I know the Nigerian situation, the economic and everything makes, things longer, like the plans you have does not really come the way it should. If everything is the way it should be, once you're done with school, you get a job, and you can even get married immediately, right away. But if that is not the situation, focus on you getting something ready, and look for someone. There's no reason why you can't find a lady that can understand you and can, if you share your goals with them, share your life dreams with them, and if that lady is wise enough to see it, you can go through life together. You can even get married and go through life together, and you can work things through. and you can both achieve that success you want to achieve. So just like we said, it takes two to tango, and you can both work together to have this success that we're talking about. So I think I'll just stop right there and see if someone else wants to answer, have something else to add to that question of how to deal with a man who constantly asks for sex in a marriage.
Sister Vic, you didn't. There was one additional point.
Okay.
Never be too afraid to leave a relationship
Oh yeah.
that is drawing you away from God.
Yes.
Don't be afraid, no matter what. Don't care what people say. Don't care what anybody says. They may come try to pull a wool over your head and over your eyes and everything. Walk away.
Yeah.
With confidence, with your full chest.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you remain in that relationship, it's only a matter of time before you give in.
Yes, you're very right about that. And thank you for bringing my attention to that. And that's one of the solutions we provided in the sisters group too, that you should leave. And someone made mention of Ruth and and Naomi, that when Boaz, when the husband died, that Ruth stayed and the other one left, right? So that if the situation is not comfortable for you, just leave. Just the main thing is to fulfill God's purpose, make sure fulfilling God's will. Well, God is the center of it all. So if it's not working the way you want it to, leave. And also try and make effort to, talk the person out of it. Probably the person just needs to, you need to help the person. But if you have tried, please, just like Brother Daniel just said, if you have tried, don't let that person make you sin. Just, leave and pray for a better person. And God that sees your heart, that you've tried to do what is right, would give you a better person. I'm an example of that. I had someone that was asking me for those. I know I've shared it in the group. I had a Christian brother that was asking me for send pictures of your panties and all. And I was like, no. And God gave me another sign that made me run for my life. And the sign was that he started, he was calling my brother names. And I was like, I've not even married you yet. You're calling my brother name. This brother that we're talking about is older than you, and you're already calling him names by name. So that means if I get married to you, eventually you're not going to respect my family. So that was one of the signs God showed me that, you need to run for your life. So you're going to see signs. Maybe, someone said joblessness. So you're going to see signs, laziness, anger. You're going to see signs in that person that would, give you, reason to just leave. Okay. And God will provide someone, because God knows our heart. He knows how to, He's a generous God, and He's going to do what is right on our behalf. Only when we trust God and we pray to God and we, try to do the will of God. So I don't know if anybody else, has something to say about, that question, how to deal with a brother who constantly asks for sex. We're about rounding off here. Thank you guys for hanging on. I think there's no other thing. There's no other contribution. I don't want to keep us, too long. Thank you for joining, and thank you for staying till this time. I hope, last minute thought, I hope we've been able to address so many things, and I want to hear from you guys. Let's see. What else do you guys have to say? Samuel, Tinubu, or please, you guys should say something. Okay, 2 people already raised their hand up. Let me see. Oh, okay, MJ, please, can you go ahead, MJ?
All right. Thank you for everything that you've said so far.
Okay.
I also wanted to say something. I wanted to say it during the sisters class, but then there was no time, so I decided not to say it then.
Okay.
When we were talking about brothers, we were like, they have double personality, that they are this in the church and then they are that outside. I just thought to say that should not, we should stop saying that. Okay, if I'm a thief, I won't come to the pulpit and ask all of us to be stealing or say that it is good to steal. When I'm on the pulpit, I am standing there as an oracle of God. I'm there to tell you what is right, to bring to you what is right, what we already know in the Bible, to show you the right way, even if I am wrong. But at that point where I'm given the work to do, I have to do it well. And some people have gifts. Some people are good at teaching. Some people are eloquent speakers. Do you understand? So we should stop saying that, okay, they have double personalities. When we are in church, we know what is right. We definitely know what is right. So when we are in the church, we try as much as possible to live up to that extent. So if you want to marry a brother, like everyone, like so many people have said here, all of those characteristics to look out for. We should not just stick to, okay, this person is good at teaching and all. And even if the person has another personality outside, doesn't make the person an hypocrite. It's just that when we are given work to do, when we are asked to officiate, we have to do the right thing. So stop this. They are different in church and they are different outside. Know the person personally. All of us, there's a way we act when we are around the people of God that we might not act when we are outside. So then stop saying that, okay, this person is this in the church and this person is that outside. That's just my point.
Thank you. That's a brilliant contribution. Even ladies, we tend to, be someone different in church. We do put on that spiritual thing, and then when we're outside, we're someone different. So it's not just the brother, it's everybody. Fine, we're in the presence of God. We have to behave ourselves. We have to do what is right. But we should be very careful to have, where God is going to see us as God sees us, if we're in the church or outside the church. So we must be very careful to be very realistic. We should be true to ourselves. Who we are in the church should be who we are outside. And then you're right about the fact that, they're obligated to do what is right because they're in church, in God's presence. And when you get to know them, fine, we are all humans, right? We're all humans. They might have things that, they are working on. Maybe the person is working on his anger issues and all. So you can also use prayer to help such a person and say, okay, I'll be praying for you. At least God asks us to pray for each other, right? So we are all humans. The person might have every other thing that is you think he should have, but he's not having because we are human. So you need the Spirit of God to be able to discern if that person is right for you. Because it's all about you and doing what God wants, and having to come up with that quality. So you need God to help you to discern and say, okay, is this real? Okay, should I go for this person or not? Just like one of the brothers said, there are some men in wolves' clothing, and so there are some good men. So you want to make sure that you're falling for the good men and not just the eloquent one. It's good to have it all rounder, and just like Brother Daniel said, kindness is very important. So can Samuel go ahead and you can go ahead and share your thoughts with us.
Good evening, everyone. It's really an exciting time to be here this evening. A whole lot of things has been said, and I must say that I've actually enjoyed just being silently learning from everybody that have been speaking. However, there are some things I would just love to talk about. Number one, I'm actually a young guy, so I'm not married. So I will not actually want to say some things really I won't be so factual about saying this is exactly the way it is, but I will actually be saying it experientially based on my little understanding thus far. Number one is this. I think one of the things I've seen is that, yes, we have a whole lot of issues when it comes to our relationship, brothers and sisters in the church and everything. And even to the extreme of we see brothers asking for sex in relationship and all of those kind of things. But there's something I've discovered. It's like it is like we attract someone that looks like us. We attract someone that looks like our value. We attract someone that looks like who we are. Then, because sometimes I feel like why do we have to deal with some unnecessary things? Why do we have to deal, like unnecessary stress within ourselves, within the fold? Then I begin to look at it. Some people don't actually have to face that stress because by default, their value system, the way they live their life, that kind of guy will not even attract you in the first place. But there are this set of people, I said they are very chameleonistic in nature. We know them as saints in the church, and outside there, they are something else entirely. Now, and you see a brother that is also clothed in sheep apparel that will get connected to this kind of, to this kind of person, and before you know it, we start having feedback from them, something like, oh, your brothers are trash and everything. Then I look at it, it's like when we really evaluate it deeply, that sister in question, she looks like a trash too. So I think the way forward is, as a whole lot of people have said here this evening, as an individual, I think we need to start taking responsibility on every areas of our life. If we actually call ourselves Christians indeed, brothers indeed, sisters indeed, then every sphere of our life should reflect the standard that we really the things we really stand for. And I think that way you will be able to move, you will actually be able to move forward. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's a wonderful contribution, Samuel. You are right about the fact that we attract the kind of person that we are. Because if you have a very good value, the guy that will come to you, self, will think about it twice. Oh my, this lady kugba. So the guy has
some guys don't have conscience.
yeah, but
Some guys are brutal.
Then the lady will have okay. Yeah.
Okay, I was just going to say that I think what's needed more is the capacity to be assertive, to be able to say no, I mean no,
yes,
and not, cow to pressure. Then I also feel that there is a need to call out a person who is known to be like that, because I found out that you might have that capacity to say no, but someone else will fall victim to that person, and you will sit idly by while they are, being exploited by a person who is known for his exploitative, tendency. The same goes for the lady as well. So I feel that we also need to look out for one another, and we need to call out people among us who are indeed wolves in sheep's clothing.
Okay. Thank you for that, Brother Daniel. So, and another thing that I would like to add is that you're going to dress the way you want to be addressed, right? So, if you're someone that your dressing calls for attention, like you're out there and you want to do me, those brothers that will notice you will be the ones that are probably in sheep's clothing. So the way, we have to be very conscious about and be intentional about the way we dress. It tells more about who you are. And that's the first thing people would see. And that's, it's not a yardstick for who you are, right? But that's the first impression that you give to other people. So you want to send the right message. You want to give a right impression. So, and then you have to, be able to say no. You have to have that ability to say no. You're in control of yourself. You're going to answer to God. So you have to have the ability to say no. Damilare, can you go ahead?
Yeah, thank you very much. So this has been on my mind for the past couple of minutes, and I've been trying to craft my thoughts fully on how to communicate that. It could also be a question for the house to respond to. How are we going to define dating pool in this context of a conversation? Because earlier before we mentioned what we want to see in the person we want to date, and those things forms what I've termed dating pool. Okay, and that further aligns to the privileges that we have. All right, dating pool and the privileges. So I'm kind of confused in this concept. Could you further help guide on how to address this two components when it comes to relationship.
Can you come up with the question again? I know you're talking about we should address something, but I didn't get that question right.
As I said, I've been trying to grab this carefully. First thing first is what I've been able to term dating pool. Okay, we all we have quality we want to see in a lady or in a guy,
Okay.
and that forms our knowledge of what we want to choose for, and that guides us to know who we want to work with, which formulates our dating pool, if I'm correct. Okay, and that also aligns with the privileges that we have. Okay, where we stay, where we live, what we engage with. Okay, so what would be your take on these two major concepts that I'm asking, dating pool and privileges, and how it informs and guides our relationship life? Thank you.
I don't know. I'm going to let other people answer the question. We understand what Damilare is asking. Who wants to answer the question? Oh,
I think I want to talk. Yeah, Dorcas.
Yes, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You can go ahead.
All right, fine. Damilare, good evening. I'm not sure I understand your question, but I just want to say some few words due to the little experience that I have about dating pool. The issue, the not an issue anyway, but the reality here is that we honestly cannot we honestly cannot date outside our circle of influence. Mm-hmm. I'm currently in a relationship and I met my partner through my circle of influence. And if we can just trace for those of us in a relationship, and even most especially those of us who are married, if we just think back to where you met your partner, it would definitely be through someone that you know, or someone that knows you. So it's always like that, most especially. But that is not always the case anyway. So if you honestly want to date someone in the lost church, I would advise to a large extent, please keep believers as your friends. Yes. Aside from being ordinary church members, have a close relationship with them. Because for you to get someone in the lost church, they have to know you. They have to be able to put in a word for you. It's not like a job opportunity or where you have to earn it or something. But that's just the reality. We need to be able to listen.
Dorcas?
This person. I know this person's parents. Is a good guy. You get, we have this form of there's this security that comes with knowing that the person I'm about to date is quite is quite known by my friends or my family or friends in the lost church. So that's just what I want to say. So if you're interested in having a relationship with someone that is in the lost church, I'd advise to keep very close friends. But one thing I've also come to know is God is very faithful. Very, 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 very faithful. If it's your desire, it will honestly come to pass. You'll definitely find someone. Mm-hmm. So I think we also need to work on that to tweak your desire to, okay, of course, there's not everybody that are married in the lost church, but at least out of those that are married in the lost church, I want to be part of them. Yes. God is so faithful and he sees these honest desires of us, and he also will want to grant it for us. Yeah. So I think that's what I'm about. That's what I have to say about dating pool.
I'm actually moved to tears with what you just said, because it's the absolutely
really
yes, because I'm a testimony of what you just said, that God sees our heart, our desire. You have to desire it. You have to
absolutely.
desire it. See, like I was growing up. I don't really. You're right about the circle of friends. You're going to marry from your circle, those that that you know very well, those in your circle. So, well, right from when I was growing up, that thing that I have to marry someone in the church was just in my mind. And I will pray about it, and I just commit it to God that that's my heart desire. And it actually came to pass, right? So you have to desire it. Don't do as if it works, fine. If it doesn't work, fine. Don't sit on the fence. The Bible says,
Yes,
if you
yes,
want your heart, be hot. If you want to be
yeah,
cold, be cold. Don't be lukewarm. If you
yeah,
have that heart desire and you desire it, God is going
yeah,
to make it possible.
yeah,
And you
absolutely.
have to do your own part by surrounding yourselves with believers that are
Yeah.
Christian. And for me, I met my husband in a what's it called, a youth meeting. He's
Mhm.
lived in Lagos. I've never been to Lagos. I've never been to Oshodi Church of Christ. I don't know him from anywhere. But we met at the youth meeting. So if you constantly surround yourself with believers, you attend believers meetings, workshop, and all, you're going to meet. And if that is your heart desire, God is going to, you're going to find someone you can connect with, someone that has your belief, someone that you can both connect on the same frequency. So I think that's what I have to say about that. I don't know, Jamilari, have we answered your question?
Not really. Some said it's a thought in my mind. I'm trying to process. I will still go study more about it, and of course, I would wanted to get the view of General House on the particular thoughts. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay,
But it has not been answered apparently.
thank you. Before I bring Tinubu, someone has raised his hand for a very long time. I have not called the person. I think I'm trying to please. I hope you guys. I don't want to take too much of your time. And that person is Galaxy something. I don't know if the person's still there.
That was Roland Ray.
Roland Ray, is he still there?
Yeah.
Roland Ray, are you still there?
No, I think it's from before. He
Oh,
didn't
okay.
lower his hand.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here. I think the hand wasn't lowered. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me get that down for you.
Okay, all right. Thank
All
you.
right.
So
All
Tinubu,
right,
can
thank
you go ahead? Yeah.
Yeah, I think good afternoon, everyone. I have been listening and enjoying discussion. But I think what Damilare is saying is not, oh yeah, there's a dating pool and we have privileges. And it is important for all of us to acknowledge that privileges when we discuss relationship. Oh yes, I want to marry someone in the church. But then my qualities that I'm looking for are defined by my privileges. For instance, I want to marry in the church, but I'm not going to marry someone without a BSc, without probably SSCE. I'm not going to marry someone who is selling pepper. So, but I want to marry in the church. And it is important we talk about those things. Acknowledge our privileges. Yes, I want to marry in the church. No matter how kind the person selling pepper is, she's just not my dating pool. We have to acknowledge that. Yeah, you have to be kind, but I'm not going to marry a kind someone who is selling pepper or who is selling tomatoes or anything. So our privileges come in that way. Almost all of us here are middle class or probably upper class. And our dating pool will be heavily influenced by people on our pedestal on the same position that we have. So yeah, it's okay to say, oh yeah, you have to look for kindness. It is also interesting and important to acknowledge this pool and know that we are going to draw people from that pool. from our privileges. And I think that is what Damla is trying to draw conclusions from. That
Okay.
privileges are very important.
Okay.
And we need to talk about them.
Okay. Thank you for that wonderful contribution. Yes, we want someone that you can look up to, someone that you can learn from, someone that is in your circle, and that's why we had this conversation. We want to know what the guys are thinking. We want to know what the ladies are thinking, so we can all be on the same page, right? So that we won't have this misunderstanding of what actually are these people looking for? Am I not good enough? So we can bring ourselves up to that standard. If we need to engage in personal development, we need to do it. You need to bring up yourself to a place where you're going to meet, like you're going to be like you have that should I say opportunity. Let me put it that way. So again, another thing I would love to say is that we have to use God as our standard. No matter how wise you think you are, no matter how good you think you are, or the person you want to marry, you have to still use God as a standard. And let all your decisions be based on what as in God's will. What is the God's will for your life, for your purpose? And don't be too don't those qualities, don't be too be serious with them, but at the same time be realistic with those qualities. So I think that's what I need to add to that. Dorcas, can you go ahead, and then Alice? Dorcas?
Yes, please. Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening once again. I think we are not being 100% sincere with the fact that we think our privileges can't be found in the church. No, that's not what I wanted to say. I think we are not being sincere about the fact that we think that what we desire in a partner can be found in the church. And so we have this expectation that Church of Christ members are not this, they are not that, and because of that, what we desire can be found, and because of that, we convince ourselves that it can only be found outside. And I used to think like that before. So I realized that I wasn't really, if you set your mind to a particular perspective, it's quite difficult for you to change your perspective, because your reality will keep meeting up with what you originally expect. So I realized I wasn't really meeting the cool guys. And at some point, I remember talking to myself, telling myself at some point that, okay, maybe I would have to get married to someone who isn't this, who isn't that, and all of that. But the moment I became open-minded, the moment I became more wise, and the moment I became more experienced in life generally, I realized that most times what we are not, where we are not looking for is where the answers are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think the first thing is, if you desire, I always keep saying this over and over again. If you desire to get married to someone in the Lost Church, no matter how high your expectations are, if you wait, don't let me say no matter how high your expectations are, but I can just say that you honestly may not be able to see someone who will tick all your boxes from number 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
But if you see someone who is ready to learn, who is ready to improve on themselves, who is quite open-minded as you are, you keep meeting each other halfway, and before you know it, you've already built, quote and unquote, the kind of partner that you want, and the person is also in the Lost Church, so even double blessings for you. I also have a sibling who talks like this, that Church Christ youths are this and that and that, and because what we want is not what we are seeing in those around, so because of that, I think the person I'll get married to be an outsider. There are tons of young Church of Christ members that are doing amazing, and they're amazing people. So I think we should just um we should be open-minded. We think we are open-minded, but honestly, we should learn to be more open-minded. And we should also learn to be humble in our expectations of each other, because knowing fully well that we are not perfect and we are all striving towards perfection. That what you know now, you haven't always known this all your life.
Yes.
So
yes.
be patient with those who have not gotten to the point where you are.
Mhm.
Be open-minded about the fact that not everyone can be like you, and also communicate your expectations with whoever you want to settle down with. So I think it's workable only if you decide or only if you desire it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that wonderful contribution. You're absolutely right. You need to desire it, and then we need to be open-minded. We need to be humble. Everything that we know today it might be probably because we took effort to know it. And the other person that you might see that, oh, they are not in your dating pool, they also want to be where you are. It's just that probably they don't have that opportunity. So we need to, be teachable. At least we need to look for that opportunity to be able to, probably bring up some people to our standard as well. If we're open enough, we can, be able to see. And let's not forget that the most important thing is someone that loves God, someone that is kind. When you find those kind of people, there are people, I'm sure they have teachable, characters in them. That okay, they are willing to learn, right? And those are more of the things we're looking for. Those people that are willing to learn, they are like sponges. They absorb everything very fast. You see that intelligence in them, that smartness in them, but they're not in your dating pool because they don't have the opportunity you have, or probably because they are not rich. They won't be in your dating pool, but they have the qualities. So if we can be humble enough and be open-minded, and we can, see those things, we can, tap into it, and you both can grow together, and you can be who you want to be and be successful. You just have to see that willingness in them that, okay, this person is teachable, this person has dreams and goals and aspirations, this person has purpose. I think those are the things we need to be looking for. So
Sorry, Sister Vic, there's an observation here.
Okay.
It's like what they are saying, what Boye and Damilare are saying, we are not getting it.
Okay.
I think what they are saying is that sometimes, because of those privileges you have, the people that you will even have access to, that you will be your friends, will be people along those lines. It's not likely to be people who are outside the pool. Now, there's also a trend I've noticed. A person who doesn't have, say, university education naturally has this inferiority complex around them. So, remember when I gained admission that year, some of my friends that we used to play football together on the streets, all of a sudden, when I returned from school, I just noticed that they were avoiding me because they had not yet gained admission. And I'm like, why should that be? I mean, we are all together, we are friends, we've been friends for how many years? So it's been difficult to keep up that friendship. So I had to make new friends, people who kind of understand the reality, my new reality and all that. And it has been like that for me. When I chose to become a preacher, I lost some friends too. They just zoomed out of my life because they felt I was going to change, that I was not going to be the same guy I used to be. And I'm like, yeah, change is constant. I have to change, but I will be real. I am not going to be the holier than thou kind of person. I will give it to you as it is. That was it. So I think that's what they are talking about. If Boyena wants to get married, the kind of people he will probably be able to interact with will be somebody that is not intimidated by him, yes. Somebody that's probably is even probably more learned than he is, and all those kinds of stuff. So that's the issue. That's where I think both of them are coming from. That's the angle they are coming from. Damilare now, where he is, most of his friends, most of the people he hangs out with are not exactly people in the church. Mm-hmm. So, and unfortunately, I have to say this, most of our churches do not create platforms. for young people to interact and mingle. There's this distrust elderly people have in youths that they'll be doing nonsense and all those kinds of things. But we need those platforms. All right. We need Big Brother Christian, so to speak. Okay, let's gather youths together, let them interact. Let's be real. See, Christianity is practicality, is reality. We need to create, maybe this platform will help with that at least. Let's have events, let's have shows, let's have, concerts, let's have healthy competitions, let's have all of those things that would help me to see so in Church of Christ and all those kinds of things. What Dorcas is talking about, some people don't know it. They don't know that there are people who will beat all your standards, and you will even be the one aspiring to their standard.
Yes.
In the church, they are there. Unfortunately, they too are keeping low profile. Everybody's just kind of
profile. Yes.
Most of them will not come out, but we have to draw them out. Okay. Now, I'm sure there are some people who are still going to contact you after now to try to get Roland Ray's contact so that they can become their mentor.
It's not taking something serious.
Okay, so that's what I feel that they are talking about, and I think the onus is on us to now begin to create those platforms, to create that avenue for us to see other people who have similar privileges, and also to bridge the gap. Because some people have PhD but they don't have sense, and somebody else has just SSE, and they would talk to you with the kind of intelligence that you begin to wonder, who are these people? Did you go to school? That is andragogy, above pedagogy. So they have been able to learn as adults. They've been able to engage in self-education and all those kinds of stuff. But somebody that has gone through that should not feel intimidated by Boye with all his big grammar. So you should be able to approach him, talk to him. And please, I have always been an advocate of this. If you like a brother, tell him, brother, I like you. It will not kill you.
Yes.
Thank you. Let me run away.
And that's where the confidence comes in, right? And that's how you're going to know who you're compatible with, because the brother might not be looking in your direction. The brother might be looking in a different direction. But at least when you say, oh, I like you, does not mean that's the end of the world. If he says he doesn't like you. So, but at least you can start a friendship and see if it's going to be what you guys are looking for. So, Alice, can you go ahead? I want everybody to talk, and I'm actually looking at the time. I'm so sorry for taking so much of your time, but Alice, can you go ahead? I don't know if you have a contribution. Alice, are you there?
There's this issue that has been on my own, it's a huge issue for me, and we are not addressing it. We are sweeping it under the carpet. It's the fact that we don't support people marrying outside the church. We have some people in some congregations that would not even attend your wedding when you marry outside the church. And then the other party's church will welcome the couple, such that you'll be wondering if they are actually real, like proper Church of Christ Christians. And then our own church will not attend their wedding. If the youth will attend, the others will not attend. And then when the table now turns to their side, it will not become fights when their own children marry outside the church. That aside, there's something else that I also do not want us to throw out totally. You can find your partner outside the church. It is not, God is amazing. The ways he does his things, and you would be surprised. I keep saying it, and I keep using my own parents as examples. My dad was never a member of the Church of Christ. His family, Kongsele, and Muslim background, that was where he came from. And then he met my mom, and she didn't even influence his conversion. Our own job was for her to bring him to the church. Our job was to be the car that he will enter to go to the church. You did not know Church of Christ, Celestial Church of Christ. If you go to any select church or any other big church, they don't even know the Church of Christ. If anybody will just ask you, what church do you attend? Church of Christ, say, is it the Laughter Rain one? I be which one? I be the Cele, which one? Every church is like, you know the kind of things we face when we describe what church we attend. He never knew what the Church of Christ was. Even when he raised his hand for baptism, she was not even sitting beside him to ask him, do you know what they're talking about? It's personal conviction. And we have cases of people like that came into the church because they met a sister. And they're even stronger than the ones that we call members of the church. So this is something that I even fight elders in church for. Why not welcome people from outside? How exactly do you expect to spread tentacles if we are keeping everything inside? We are so dogmatic. We do not even. Yes, we understand that if you have issues, there's no marriage that does not have issues. There is no marriage of 50 years, they're having issues. And this is not because, and they make it work, not just because they are members of the church, but because they know each other, they understand each other, they are partners, they are friends. Like they find reasons to make it work. And that's the most important thing. And then when we now restrict our choices and our options to inside the church, and then we find sisters doing, if they don't marry us, who they marry, and brothers to doing, if they don't marry us, this doesn't cancel the fact that you cannot marry in the church. In fact, it's the best because it makes things easy for you. But let's not also forget that when you bring somebody in the church, most times, 99.9% of the times, nobody will do any work. Nobody will do anything on this person. Normalize hiring private investigator for the family of who you want to marry. Both on the brother side and on the sister. We've seen, I'm saying this thing and it's really, really under my skin. I'm at work and I have to excuse myself because it's really paining me. This thing it has really eaten deep. And I'm not just saying it because I feel like it's an option. I'm saying it because I have seen. I'm saying it because there are so many issues that they've brought to my dad that he has had to settle down. We will tell him, that this one will pass through. How will you settle this one? Like it has really eaten deep. And even he has realized that wherever you see, if it's your own, if this is what God wants for you, you won't even need to do a lot of work. We've had cases where they've had to go to other churches. And when I say other churches, I mean Anglican, the very deep ones, to go to their church to join couple. First thing, the wife was converted before the marriage. After the marriage, the mother-in-law was converted after the marriage. And they allowed us, they gave us that platform to join the couple and even do the sermon for the wedding. This is something that we should open our minds to. Yes, we want a happy home. We want this, this togetherness. This fact that they're going to do wedding, everybody knows each other already. It's fun, the whole party is nice, everybody, there's this love. But also, how about people outside? We have great people outside. When I mean great people that you stand and you say, "I'm going to do that." And we also have people that they really want to know God, but they don't know how to. Yes, they read their Bibles, they found loopholes in where they are attending and where they are going to, but they are still looking for that person to help. And if eventually marriage now comes in, don't you think it's something you can, work on? That was why I said, even when the sisters bring somebody into the church, like, can't the brothers help this person to, like, come on, we are trying to, it's like winning a soul for Christ is always a plus wherever, or whatever you do, wherever you go, it's always going to be a plus. But I don't want us to take that option out of it totally. People are saying, let me just tell you now, especially sisters, their eyes are seeing on this Kikini, their eyes are seeing, and we need to open up our eyes. And I'm going to keep saying it, and I will not stop telling everybody, please. Yeah. Yes, it is good to marry in the Lord. And if eventually I'm not marrying the Lord, people should not say that I said that marrying in the Lord is okay, but look outside. I now brought Brother Joe. We also have very good brothers in the church. We have people members that you don't even know that they are doing things in this life, then did. But how to meet them is another issue. So what I think is, please, this option, I will still keep saying it.
Please don't let us restrict our choices and our options to inside the church, Many people are taking advantage of, even parents of the youth are taking advantage of the fact that some people need to become alone in church. Some people even tell you, I'm a. So please, especially sisters, I beg in the name of God, don't let us restrict our options. And if there's no way you're a good person. Even outsiders will want to associate with you. They want to, family, these are the kind of people who want, even when they see your church members, they see your friends, they want to be part of the kind of big family that you have. And that's the goal. If other people outside can see us marriable and we don't see them marriable, what are we preaching? What exactly are we doing?
Okay.
So that's why I just put that because there's always everyone knows that I'm an advocate of spreading tentacle.
Thank
Don't
you.
choice one place. So
thank you for that. Thank you for that contribution. And I have some things to say. I know it's not detailed. I know I'm going to throw it open. But what I can say is that anybody that has to bring it, I will be real. It's easier for men because the ladies will always take the follow the man's religion. So we're going to place that focus on women marrying outside. So what I can say is that it's an avenue to convert, right? But the lady that is bringing someone from outside, like probably not, don't let me say bringing someone from outside, the lady that met someone that is not a member of the church, that lady must have had, you must have good qualities, good attribute for you to be able to attract the right person in the first place, right? So it's good that we should make the opportunity available for outsiders to, come into the church and get converted, and we all want to serve God and worship God. So it's a good thing, and then the sister should make it a priority to make sure that this person knows what he's believing. This person has a good family, that they are willing to accept Christianity. They are willing to not just, because we have several sisters that they don't even want to do the work of doing their investigation right. They just want to they are looking at their biological clock and they just want to grab wherever they see. So the sisters have to make sure that their faith is very important to them. And if you're going to convert the person, look at the family too. Are there people that they are willing to accept that religion? Because what will really, what I won't be happy about is when the sister, a sister, you're a Christian, you've known the word of God, and someone pulls you out of that faith. That won't be, I'm sure God won't be happy with that. But if you can bring someone in and you can convert those person, you can let them, see the word of God, accept it, and let them, change to a new life, that will be a plus to you. So that's what I would say. I don't know if someone else would, want to come in and say something about that.
I just want to quickly chip in something. I feel that whenever we talk about marrying in the Lord and marrying outside, we confuse so many things.
Okay.
See, there's a difference between me inviting someone I like to the church and then the person meeting Christ. That's you using what is called your relational map, your relational network. Okay? But in my experience, as a preacher now, when a sister brings a person to you who is not a member of the church, usually emotions are already involved. And all they want you to do is to just give this person, give him, so he does baptism. And that's it. In the example Alice cited about her parents, her dad had his own conviction. The mom was not trying to just do baptism, or if you don't do baptism, I'm not marrying you. She didn't do that. She let him go on his own, discover the truth for himself. Do you understand? But in my own experience, see, there's one case. There's one lady, she brought a guy, and then I spoke to the guy, I talked to him. I didn't know they had gone really far. And then he indicated that he was going to be baptized. And then out of excitement, blah, 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 we went to the baptistry and did the baptism and all that stuff. Thankfully, before they finally sealed the marital deal, he showed his true color for some reason. And that was how she escaped narrowly. Till now, we don't even know where the guy is. So we have a brother now, but he was not really converted. So we have to understand that emotions, there is the part of our brain. You see, the emotional part is very powerful. And when emotions are already involved, chances are that you just do things as a means to an end. And serving God is not something you want to, becoming a Christian, for example, should not be really intertwined with your marital decision. So it can happen both ways. One, a brother in Christ, you may marry him and tomorrow he goes. The Bible does not teach us about once you are saved, you're always saved. A brother can, after marriage, can decide to go back into the world, and then you have to deal with that. Okay, in the same vein, a person you bring from outside can be baptized and then later on show you their true color. You don't know what's in the heart of man. Jeremiah 17 verse 9 says, the heart of man is desperately wicked. Who can know it? However, there is a balance that we can strike here. Number one, if you are going to marry someone who is not in the church, it is your God-given right. And you know why God gave us that right? So that we will not say, God, it's because you said I should marry the Lord that I'm facing this problem. So when you marry someone you want to marry, you are responsible for that marriage. God is going to hold you accountable. There's only one end of the stick you can pick. You can't pick the other hand. So once you decide to marry someone, do not marry them because now they have been baptized into Christ. Marry them because you can see those qualities. And that's one thing I want us to pick out from there. Yeah, we cannot, nobody can come here to pontificate and say that you have to marry a member of the church. No, it's very easy to become a member of the church if that's the case. We are trying to say, marry someone who loves God more than they love you. Marry someone who sees the scriptures, has the rule book, as the guide for their lives. That will not one day wake up and say, are you not sure this world did not explode into existence? And all those kinds of things. Marry somebody that is loyal to the truth. Somebody that when they see the truth, they have the humility to say, okay, this is the truth. I have to change. That is the point we have been passing across. And we are just trying to sell our market by saying that, look at our people too. We have sweet, sweet boys and girls, in the church. But at the end of the day, it's your decision. Then finally, there is an order that God has given us, all of us, and we must understand that order. The first one is, three things are involved here. There's master, mission, and mate. So, who is my master? Master, talking about, is God my master? Am I submitting totally to the will of God? Yes. You have to clarify that. What is my mission? Why am I here? Am I here to get married? Is marriage my mission on it? Do I have a mission? Do I have a purpose? Have I clarified why I exist? The reason for being. So when you understand that mission, then the third, who is my mate, will be easy for you to decide, because then you will now be able to, based on who your master is and what your mission is, decide who your mate is going to be, who is going to get on this journey with you in that sense. Consequently, what you would see is that at the end of the journey, one day I will die, everybody will die. So I've been married. That marriage does not carry on to heaven. But if care is not taken, the marriage can be the reason why I send myself to hell, because of the fact that I had put myself in a situation that eventually compromised my faith. Now, there have been cases of people who were drawn away from the faith. It's not only sisters, in fact, even brothers. There have been brothers that their wives made the marriage a living hell for them that until the man bent to their will. So, and then when that happens, I usually say something that may our loyalty not really be tested, because you see, you have to understand that God comes first before your marriage. Most of us are obsessed with the person we want to marry. No, direct it, let it be vertical. Clarify your relationship with God. With God, there is nothing that marriage will bring to the table that you will not be able to handle. I have heard stories and seen cases where a person got married and their spouse decided to become a pain in their neck. Now, challenging them, preventing them from worshiping God. And they would risk the pain, they would risk the suffering to worship, and they would make it clear that, see, oh husband or oh wife, know this. This is the God I serve, and you cannot stand in the way of me serving him. So you have to be ready to die for God, for the cause of Christ. All of us need to clarify that. And that happens when you have been able to clarify who your master is and what your mission is. Then the case of who your spouse is will be very, very easy to decide. God gives everybody the liberty to marry anyone you want to marry, but that is the choice you get to make. What comes after? You have to take the entire baggage. Yes, free will. You have that freedom to choose. But what comes after is up to you. And let me say something. Yeah, background checks are all good, and yes, very, very important. Not just background checks. You know, we started doing all these blood tests and all those things. But now, these days, there's a recommendation that you also take psychometric tests to check that this person is mentally okay to go into a marital relationship. Now, when you check that the person is mentally okay to get into a marital relationship, that is also a form of you doing due diligence. Okay? Doing due diligence. But even after doing all of these things, you must never forget that it is still on God. Because you may check all the boxes, and you will be in a marriage and be wondering, God, what did I do wrong? What did I not do?
Yes.
I checked all the boxes. Why is this happening to me? You know why? As a human being, what you are saying now, what I'm saying now, you don't know what will happen tomorrow. You don't know. See, it is until, that's why the Bible says that when we face trials, we should count it pure joy, because those things are actually going to test us. They will reveal what's in our hearts. And when we allow God to work on us, we are going to come out better and stronger. So it's easy for me to be blowing grammar now because I'm less than 2 years into my marriage. Let me check again in 5 years and ask, am I still, standing? With God's help and prayers, I believe I will still be standing. Okay? But we will only be able to do that when God is our master. When we know the mission he has granted to us, and when you can look at your wife after you have married, and your husband after you have married, and say, see, no matter what you do, I will love you because God asked me to love you. It's because of God, not you, not who you are, not what you have done. So that's just the balance I want us to strike there, so that we will not confuse marrying anyone you want to marry to mean that you can just look away and marry anyhow. Please, let it be God that guides. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brother Daniel. Like you've summed up everything. I have nothing to say, as in you said it all. God is the guide. God is the guide. You're going to answer to God. You're not going to answer to your emotions. You're not going to answer to the love. You're not going to answer to all those everything that we feel. We sometimes tend to put ourselves in front, like what I want, fine, it's good to do that, but you have to place God first. God comes first, because we're going to answer to him at the end of the day. Thank you for that, wonderful contribution. And that, that rounds up everything. Thank you so much. And we're coming to an end here. Wow, it's time. I already thought, I've planned in my mind that we're stopping at 5 p.m. That's 10 p.m. Nigerian time. Okay, so Thank you so much. And that's a wrap on today's episode of Love and Dating with Victoria. And I'll be sending feedback forms as in right away, like very, I'm going to send it between today and tomorrow, the feedback forms. Please be on a lookout for it and fill it, because it's going to help us to know what questions you want to let us answer and who you want us to bring forward as in to this program, and how the conversation will go. We need your feedback, please. It's very important to the success of this group. And the next time and date for this meeting would be posted in the WhatsApp group, because today is the last day of July. Next, we're in August already. So your feedback forms will give us an idea of what we need to talk about next. And let's connect, please. Let's connect. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask me. I can throw it to the group if you want me to. And we all have different life journeys. It's based on who we are and where we find ourselves. So this is just a conversation that is going to guide us in making those decisions. So please, if you're struggling with some things, please don't struggle alone. We're here for you, please. Yeah, Brother Daniel is also there. You can contact Brother Daniel on Brother. Can you give us your Instagram handle, please? He also has good content and one of the things I want us to also know is that we need to watch our circle, those that we surround ourselves with. They influence us in making the decisions. You need to surround yourselves with, good people with good content, that they are godly, as in godly, God conscious. How am I going to put it right? That they are all about God, so they are for God. We need to surround ourselves with those kind of people. So, Brother Daniel, can you give us your Instagram handle in case anybody wants to reach out to you and
Yes, I already typed it in the chat box.
Okay.
In the chat box, it is at Jimmy Daniel, or on Twitter it is Daniel Jimmy. So just like that.
Thank you for putting that in the chat box. Thank you so much. Let's see. And the exciting news. I won't take so much of your time. And the exciting news that I have to share, and thank you for those that have stayed to this end. Like we have more than half of us stayed to the end of this program, and this is like 3 hours already. So I'm really, really grateful, and I appreciate you all for staying to this time. It shows that it's very important to you, and it's also very important to me. My kids have been down there watching TV. I don't want them to watch TV for that long, but because this is very important to me, so I've also taken time out to be with you guys. So okay, so here's the exciting news. I would like to introduce you to a platform where we're going to be preparing men and women for a lifetime of fulfillment in marriage. There's one thing is to love, the other is God factor, but there's so much more to it. So this is a platform that God has placed on my mind to make it open for people to want to learn more, because even all this conversation will help, but we have to go into more as a deeper teaching about how to find that person and not to miss it, because when it comes to marriage, it's going to define who you are eventually. Like it's going to define how your life goes, in the direction which your life is going to go to, because marriage alone is not going to give you the happiness you want. Okay, there's more to it. So we'd like to invite you to this platform, and the name will be Ready for Marriage Network. Ready for Marriage Network. So let me see. I'm trying to give you more details about this program. I think it's on my phone. I just need to give you some more details about it so that you can have an idea of what I'm talking about. I already put down some things. Okay. So in the real world, when we go to school and we learn professions, and we are trained for one job or the other, right? But we're not trained. If we can learn about other things, why not learn about marriage? And it helps us to be well prepared, and this program is going to help us to catch those things that we need to be aware of before we eventually marry, so that we won't get unaware, like caught unaware when we get married. So Ready for Marriage is going to be a 12-week intensive program for men and women who desire. You have to desire a happy and godly home. Please, you have to desire that happy and godly home. So this intensive program is for you. We're going to be having weekly teachings. It's going to be on weekends, and it's going to be one class per week, mostly on Saturdays, because I understand all of us are busy. I'm also busy as well. So we're going to be having it on Saturdays, and it won't take so much of your time. But in this 12-week intensive program, we're going to be looking at 7 dimensions of life: purpose, profession, spirituality, health and wellness, emotional well-being, finance, social and community. We're going to be looking at all those 7 dimensions of life. We're going to be bringing in facilitators that they're going to facilitate these topics. Mine is just relationship, but other topics, I know we're going to get other people that can talk about all these topics, and all these things influence us in making a decision and becoming who we are. It's all about personal development. So we're going to bring in facilitators, and what you're going to gain is that we're going to talk about time management, jobs of the future. Our world is constantly changing. Then you will learn, you gain confidence in all areas of your life when you start this program. You're going to transform yourself to the best version of yourself. At least in this little one we've done, I've learned so much. We don't know it all. I've just learned. I didn't even know people do mental check for is part of the background checks. I didn't know until Brother Daniel said it. So we need to constantly learn from each other. So you will learn what it takes to have a happy home, and if you feel like with God at the center of it all. You're going to learn about jobs, how to start jobs with zero capital, and how to be a person of integrity in your community. You're going to learn how to manage your wellness, mental health, and how to manage your time effectively so you can be more productive. So the list goes on and on because we're going to be touching so many areas. It's all about personal development, and that's just what it is. So that's the little details I'm going to give you just right now. I know the program is going to start in September. So all through August, I'm going to do more details, work on this program and make it available in September. And I'm going to reach out to a lot of you guys for if you're going to facilitate, talk about some topics. Is open and it's free. It's free to everybody. I just need us to be committed to going through the program, because it's a program that we need to, just like it takes 3 weeks to form an habit. So an habit is not something that everything that we said just now is good that we know, but in order to put ourselves in that habit, to be able to, it's going to flow freely from us. We have to constantly talk about it, learn about it, and do something about it. So this is what this platform is for. So if you're interested, I'm going to put a link in the group. I should have copied the link and put it also on this chat box, but right now I can't do that. But please, I'm going to send out the links for you to, if you're interested. It's going to be 12 weeks and it's going to be on weekends, so it's not going to eat into any of your schedule at all. So if you're interested, we're not forcing you to do this. It's just all about your interest and how you want to, improve, or what level of personal development you want to engage in. So it's free and it's open for anybody that is interested. So that's the good news that I have for you. And that takes us to the end. I've not seen the chat. I can see. Okay. Is there anybody that wants to say something before I call it an end? Before I bring it to an end? Is there anybody? Nobody? All right. Thank you for staying with me till this time. And I'll give you more information about the news I just passed. And God bless you. And I will see you in the next meeting. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to fill the form once I send it out. And please, can you turn on your camera? Let's see your face and say goodbye, 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 please. Goodbye. And goodbye. Thank you. And I'll send a replay of this video. I know it's going to be very helpful. We can listen to it all over again. So please, thank you so much for your time. And I'll say good night. Bye. Bye.